Wilson did not have an update yet yesterday. He had gone 5 innings of one hit ball, allowing no runs and striking out 7. So probably the only real negative piece of news to come out of the weekend. Hopefully everything's going to be okay there.
Yeah, and it's not that negative. I mean, it obviously could have been a whole lot worse, right? I mean, it could have been an elbow. It could have been something else. They could have said he's done for the year. I mean, there's any number of things. So walk me through this. I mean, Lyle, for a moment, you've been looking at some of these numbers, and it dawns on me that not everyone out there is familiar enough with playoff baseball in Seattle, having only made it once in the last 25 years or whatever it is now, to know what a magic number is. Got a couple of text messages this morning saying, could you please explain what it means to have a magic number? Is that just the number of wins needed to get in? No. The magic number is the number of wins combined with another team's losses that equals the playoffs. Make sense? So if your magic number is 3 over Houston, you need a combination of 3 Mariner wins or Astro losses to get into the postseason. So if the Astros lose 3, you don't have to do anything. If you win 2 and the Astros lose 1, you're in the playoffs. That's what it means to have a magic number. To bring that back to Brian Wu, if the Mariners have clinched not just the division, but also a first-round bye with the number 2 seed, do you push Brian Wu back and try to throw Jonathan Diaz or somebody on Thursday?
Absolutely. Lyle?
I don't even know about pushing back. They might just skip a start.
Well, sure. I mean, at that point, yeah, you probably just skip it, right? At the very least, you push it back, though, and let him kind of take a rest. Like, there's just no reason to risk it. Now, the bigger question becomes if it's sort of close and you're not sure and you haven't clinched yet, what do you do then if the 2 seed is still out there? I don't know. We'll see. Win a couple games, and it'll make this a whole lot easier to handle on Thursday.
Yeah, and we should have an update on him by tomorrow.
The good news is they don't seem to think he's going on the IL, and they seem to think it's pretty minor, so thank goodness. That was a little bit of a frightening sight on Friday, I'm not going to lie.
Edward Vizardo was fantastic again, stepping up and pitching 2 scoreless innings Friday night. Victor Robles went yard in the 7th, and Josh Naylor joined the solo shot party in the 8th.
The stretch and the pitch to Naylor. Swinging a well-hit ball deep to right field. Going, and there's home run number 4 on the night. Josh Naylor, with his 20th home run of the season, is now a 20-20 man for the first time in his major league career, clapping his hands as he gets to third. He's going to get a high five from Chris Negron, and it's now the Mariners 4, the Astros nothing. 4th home run for the Mariners tonight. Julio in the 1st, Chino in the 4th, Victor Robles in the 7th, and now Josh Naylor with a home run to the bleachers and right here in the 8th. 4-0 Mariners.
Yeah, you didn't even get to the Robles home run. Biggest moment of his weekend, right?
No? I don't think so, no. I think we're going to get to the biggest moment.
Oh, okay. Just checking.
Brash pitched the 8th. Munoz closed it out. They each allowed a hit, but ultimately kept the Astros scoreless for the 4-0 win. Afterwards, Suarez said it feels pretty darn good to come into Houston and silence that crowd.
Fine, they came here, it's very fine. You see those fans cheer for them, and the crowd always, every time they do something good, they loud, But today was our time to shut them down, and it feel great. We come here and take the first one, and our mentality is go for more and try to win the series tomorrow.
They got pretty quiet there in the 7th.
Yeah, that's we can feel it. We can feel it. They got very quiet. That's our goal. Make them quiet, not let them have some fun.
Hey, they shut him down. I mean, look, that's a complete dominant performance for 3 straight games. Certainly, it all started on Friday night, and we heard from Goldsmith on Friday that can be a loud building. You know what you do to a loud building like that in baseball? Don't give them an opportunity. Take a lead early, which they did in all 3 games, and never really give it up. Works pretty well. It's a pretty good formula.
It just feels like this is something that the Mariners have been waiting for a while. So it feels like a changing of the guard. It's pretty nice. On Saturday, a Suarez RBI double got the Mariners on the board first. A Robles sac fly in the 2nd made it 2-0, and Cal Ravech hit this bomb in the 3rd to break Ken Griffey Jr.'s single-season home run record.
Here comes the pitch to him.
Swung on, that is cranked. Right field, it's blasted. It is on its way. It is history. It is gone. Cal Raleigh stands alone. Number 57. He has hit the most home runs for a Seattle Mariner in a single season, passing the Hall of Famer Ken Griffey Jr.
Do you remember what you guys said? Salk asked us our predictions for how many he was going to get to. Do you guys remember? I know mine was 54, so I've been out for a while.
I think I had 57, 58, somewhere in that range. I don't remember. I've obviously forgotten. Not a huge surprise.
I just think that not many of us were. I mean, 60's realistic at this point.
Oh, I think I said he was going to break Judge's record.
Oh,
okay.
did you?
Yeah, and you told me that was ridiculous.
No, I didn't.
We got to go
would
back and
never
pull
say
it
that.
now, Lyle.
Ridiculous. I wouldn't have said that.
I think I remember you saying it was ridiculous.
I feel like the MVP race should be over now, but people are
It's
talking
not.
about
I
it
mean, I heard Passon talking about it before the game last night, and he's still like, "Hey, there's really no good way to choose this, and Judge's numbers are just so crazy across the board." But you know, it's funny the Cal breaking of Junior's record and even hitting another one the next night just kind of got a little overshadowed by the team in general, which, quite frankly, is probably exactly the way Cal wants it.
Yeah, I'll let you listen to some Cal sound after the game. He kind of spoke to that. So yeah, the Mariners just kept adding on. After loading up the bases in the fifth, Josh Naylor drew a walk to make it 4-0 Mariners, and then Framber Valdez, and that ended Framber Valdez's evening. A Canzone RBI single added another run, and the Mariners appeared to be on their way to a comfortable win. Kirby allowed the first two runners to reach base in the sixth, but he did close it out with 2 strikeouts and a ground out from Altuve. He went 6 innings, giving up no runs on 5 hits and striking out 7. Polanco's RBI double in the 7th brought the score to 6-0. So you feel pretty good about that heading into the bottom of the 7th, right?
Yes.
Well, not so fast. Carlos Vargas gave up 2 singles and hit a batter, setting Jeremy Pena up for a grand slam. Now it's only 6-4 Mariners in the 8th, so things got a little more tense. Edward Bizzardo got 2 strikeouts, but he also gave up a single and a double. So with runners on second and third, Gabe Spire was called in to get the final out. He was preparing to face Jesus Sanchez, who is a lefty, and ended up with Christian Walker, their pinch hitter, who is a righty, but it did not seem to faze him. I went with the Goldie call of this one because I just thought it was really good.
Spire fires home. Nighty-night! Gabe Spire just blew his doors off at 97 miles an hour. You talk about some big league pitching. Gabe Spire.
Nighty-night.
I was hoping we could hear a little bit more of that music that was kind of playing them
You were-
out there.
Yeah, you're starting to rock out.
That's the Gabe Spire strikeout music. Lyle, you've been all over the Spire thing. I gotta give you some credit on this. You've talked a lot about Spire, even heading into the year, and what a force he could be. I'm not sure I totally bought it, especially after last year. He's been tremendous. Another big reason why the Mariners are where they are, and I'm glad they used him there. I mean, like, it could be tempting not to use him at all during a series against a team that essentially has no lefties, and they found pocket for him, and he came up big when they needed him to.
I just don't get the notion that he can't throw against righties. He's been perfectly good against righties this year.
Yeah, he's not a lefty specialist.
No.
Guy. I would agree with you.
His OPS against righties is nearly 300 points lower than Vargas's.
Yeah.
Yet it was Vargas in there. Whatever, the Mariners won.
Whatever. Classic Lyle.
Oh, whatever.
Munoz had to close it out for the 3rd straight game. He hit Jake Myers, but that one was close. They did have to do a review to see if it was off the knob of the bat. He then struck out Zach Cole and walked Pena, and so Carlos Correa hit a ball to right center that you see Julio trying to chase down, and then all of a sudden, Victor Robles comes flying through the air like Superman to grab it and get it to JP for the double play.
A look back at second. The 0-1 pitch. Slider swinging a fly ball into shallow right center field. Hustling in, diving for the ball. Making the catch is Robles. The throw into second base. They are going to double up Myers. Holy smokes, what a play. A season-saving diving catch by Victor Robles in right center field. The toss into second to double up Myers, and the ball game is over. The Mariners hang on and win it.
It was quite impressive. And if that finish was almost enough to make you forget that Cal broke another huge record, you weren't alone, because it sounds like Cal almost did too.
I mean, the win was unbelievable. I didn't even think about really the home run. I thought about it, rounding the bases, and that was about it. And then I got back to the game. So just glad, I could, do my part, as far as, putting up another run. And, that feels like forever ago.
So much happened since then.
Especially for him, right? He's just so locked in, calling the games. Like, I get it. All right, so the Robles catch. Let's discuss for a minute. Unbelievable catch, great diving play. There are two thoughts I have on that. One, I'd be curious to talk to someone who was at the game and whether the reaction was the same as it was to somebody who was watching the game on TV. It's a great catch no matter how you slice it, an amazing catch. But I think on TV, this is my hypothesis, it was heightened a little bit because the camera's focused on Julio.
Yeah, he came out of nowhere with the way the shot was.
But if you were at the game, or if the camera had been focused on Robles, would it look like more of a, I'm going to put this in air quotes, garden variety diving catch in right field? I don't know. It was a great play. It doesn't really matter. I mean, no matter what, it's a tremendous play, and the situation really makes it one of the signature, maybe the signature defensive play of this season. So, that question I'm asking probably doesn't really matter, but I was just sort of curious. I mean, like, if you were there, if you want to text, I'd be curious if you thought it was as crazy as it appears on TV. Because as you're watching, you're like, oh, maybe Julio's going to get there. And I don't know if he's looking like he's starting to pull up.
Did he have a shot at it if Robles didn't come in?
I think Julio's got a shot at everything. So,
yeah.
But he pulled up, and Robles comes flying out of nowhere. And I think that really adds to the. But you know what? Sometimes that's the way sports is. Sometimes a little accident or a camera mistake or whatever can end up leading to a famous play. You know that the famous Carlton Fisk home run, right, where he's blowing it fair and all that against Game 6, against the Reds, all of that. The whole idea that the camera stayed focused on him was an accident. The cameraman or the editor or the director was not supposed to do that. But because they caught this incredible reaction by Pudge, they ended up kind of changing the way sports are shot and produced on television. That's where reaction shots essentially came from. And now as soon as somebody does something, you get those instant reaction shots. So maybe a little accident, I don't know, but it was an unbelievable catch, and it really saves the game, and that's in that moment. I don't know if it saved the season. I think I still would have felt pretty good about them, but could have been a tie game if that kicks away from him, and instead Mariners win the series, win the season series, all in that one moment.
Well, I think people at the game, fans might be different, but players seem to be doing the same thing that people were doing on TV, because both Cal and Carlos Correa said, I was watching Julio the whole time, right, and then Victor came out of nowhere.
Yeah, well, funny.
And just a side note here, the YouTube page is working again.
Okay.
I contacted engineering, but it looks like Justin Barnes was already up and all over it, our former coworker on this morning show. So thank you, Justin.
Basically,
save the day. Yeah, you always
don't tell Brock
tech
that,
support.
Mark. Don't tell Brock.
All right. Well, gosh, I don't even know if we're gonna get to some football. But so yesterday for the Mariners, the M's got to your guy Jason Alexander quickly with him loading the bases and walking in a run in the second inning. J.P. Crawford then hit a grand slam. And since you already played that one, I'll go with Cal's. Cal then added a 2-run shot for his 58th home run of the season.
Here's the pitch. Swing and a well-hit ball. Down the right field line. Stay fair. Goodbye, baseball. Holy smokes, he does it again. Number 58 for Cal Raleigh. Getting closer to the Bambino. Cal Raleigh with a 2-run screaming line drive. He is rampaging through the record books here in 2025 and writes another chapter in a storybook season. Cal Raleigh with home run number 58 on the year. getting closer to Babe Ruth, getting closer to Maris, getting closer to Aaron Judge.
I love how he's just going crazy, breaking all these records, and then the Karl Ravech interview with him is just like about how much he loves Costco dogs.
Of course. Well, why wouldn't it be? Why wouldn't it be?
He says one of the best deals going. You gotta watch this, pinch those pennies.
He's not wrong about that, by the way. Like, that's how Cecily got into eating mustard and hot dogs. Like, Costco's so cheap. She's like, yeah, I'll take a hot dog. Sure.
Let's see. Then the Mariners were already up 7-0 in the second inning. Logan Gilbert cruised through 6 innings, giving up just 4 hits and that one solo shot to Zach Cole. Caleb Ferguson and Vargas each gave up a run in relief, but Brash shut the door in the 9th, and the Mariners win 7-3 for the sweep.
Just to go back to the Robles catch for a moment, I said there were 2 things I wanted to get to, and we'll do maybe some more of this at 8 o'clock. The other part of that is Robles wasn't even really supposed to be back this year. Like, he was supposed to be done for the year, right? Maybe you'd see him in September. Maybe. But I was kind of operating under the assumption that we weren't going to see Robles until next year. Instead, he comes back, a while ago now, and you can see what an enormous contributor he's been. That's the way this team was supposed to be, really, from day one. It may have worked out better that he wasn't around for the whole year. It kind of gives you Dominic Canzone and the opportunity for him to show up. And as of today, I believe Canzone has the 2nd highest OPS on the team, which is pretty remarkable, just behind Cal Raleigh. And so I think if Robles had been gone, I don't know whether we ever really would have gotten to experience all of that. But, okay, anyway, his hard work and getting himself back, the training staff, everybody connected with this team, what they were able to do to get Victor Robles back as early as he was, he's already contributed in major ways to a bunch of these wins. But 2 in particular, I don't know if they win if he's not there. So that's, I mean, I know WAR is set up to look at something beyond just how many specific games you win, but I think you could point to 2 in just a couple dozen games that he's played where I don't know if they win the game if he's not in the lineup. So pretty impressive, Victor Robles and the training staff and medical staff connected to the Mariners kind of getting him back when it didn't look like that was going to be part of it, part of the season.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that have just gone well that way, because I'm not sure we weren't sure you could count on Bryce Miller being back either.
Maura, I think you did a pretty crappy job with around the weekend today, I got to tell you. We only got to 3 games, and I'm probably to blame for a lot of that, but I'm going to blame you instead.
Oh, okay.
The Seahawks blew out the Saints, the Huskies win the Apple Cup, the Kraken win last night.
There were 7 games that were won in the final 3 minutes.
None better, obviously, than Philadelphia finding a way at the very end to beat the Rams, which was huge. It looked like the Rams. We can hear that
if you want. A blocked field goal return for a touchdown against
I'll
the
take
Rams.
that. Give me a little Jordan Davis.
Okay.
Joshua Carty has it blocked again. This time Jordan Davis, the big man, looks for the icing on one big cake. Eagles hang on.
I mean, we're going to give the Seahawks a lot of credit for their special teams play yesterday. There were quite a few games lost on special teams mishaps yesterday.
No
so
kidding.
It means even more.
Yeah, that's a
Jay
huge.
Harbaugh
I mean, look,
has this unit playing so well.
It looked like the Eagles had left too much time on the clock, and the Rams were going to go down and kick a game-winning field goal, and instead you block that field goal. And now the Seahawks are in a much better position. And, oh, by the way, the Niners beat Arizona, but they also may have lost Nick Bosa for a while. He left that game and didn't return with a knee injury. So a lot of good stuff yesterday. Tremendous, tremendous weekend for Seattle sports fans. I don't know if you could ask for it to go much better than it did. Maura, thank you for a good trip around the weekend. All right, we got a lot to do. Brock's going to be in here in just a moment. The Mariners are very good. I think we'll confirm that over the course of the final week here of the season. But can they be great? I don't know if we're going to be able to tell until October. That's next on Brock and Salk.
Be the first to hear from Seahawks head coach Mike Macdonald the morning after every game on the Mike Macdonald Show.
Good morning, Coach. How are you?
This thing on?
On and ready for you.
The morning after every Seahawks game at 9:30 with Brock and Salk.
Being in front of the 12s is going to be a lot of fun. Trying to bring everybody together so we can push in the same direction.
Get the podcast on the Seattle Sports app and seattlesports.com. It's the Mike Macdonald Show, only on Seattle Sports, the home of the Seahawks.
When it comes to the security of your business, doubts can creep in about who you're trusting to protect it. At Bail Arm, we got you. For nearly 80 years, we've been putting our customers' minds at ease with our advanced technology and personalized support. Feeling insecure about your current security service? Visit bailarm.com today.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with the Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit info kit. 800-486-9600. That's 800-486-9600.
Toyota of Kirkland's Service Department has you covered as the summer winds down and the fall approaches. At Toyota of Kirkland, be confident in your brakes with the complimentary brake inspection. Get winter ready with a free battery health check, wiper blade installation, and multi-point inspection. Thinking of trading in? Get a complimentary vehicle appraisal. Stay ahead with the maintenance service plan at $374 plus tax. And yes, they match coupons from other local Toyota dealers. Visit toyotaofkirkland.com to schedule your service today. Drive safe, drive smart with Toyota of Kirkland.
O'Brien.
Cal has hit more home runs than any catcher in the history of the game of baseball.
The Mariners are in the hunt for October, and now's the time to pack the park and bring the energy.
Well, looked in by Brash. The payoff pitch on the way, and it's strike three called. He got him looking.
We're electric. I feel like the fans can feel that, and we're just going to keep this going.
An absolute tracer from Julio. He has homered in back-to-back at-bats.
Keep bringing the energy. We really need it. Let's go.
Out to right field. Way back there. J.P. Crawford. Game winner walk-off fashion in the ninth inning.
This team has a lot of fight. You guys have been electric. You guys are a key to this, so thank you guys.
The postseason is in our sights. Be here and be loud. Mariners baseball. Seize the moment.
At O'Neill Plumbing, we don't just promise to get the job done, we back it up. No travel charge, no show-up fee, no overinflated pricing, and no out-of-town owners. Just clean, fast, and professional each and every day. O'Neill Plumbing.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with the Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Let's go!
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Paying extra for tire care is BS. You know, bad service. So at Midas, we're rolling out our BS-free tire guarantee, included with paid installation and tax on every purchase. You'll pay nothing for flat replacements, nada for flat repairs, and zilch for tire rotations every 5,000 miles. That's $0 for all that. So with this limited lifetime tire guarantee, you'll pay a whole lot of nothing compared to what the other guys charge for tire care. That's the BS-free tire guarantee, only at Midas.
Some people just know you can save money on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like you know to check Kirk Herbstreit's pregame analysis first, before talking to your brother-in-law.
In this game, the key thing to watch will be the offensive line versus their front seven. If they can get pressure without blitzing, this could be a long night.
Okay, Kirk.
I know stuff.
Ooh, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first and see what you could save. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Potential savings vary, including based on how you buy, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate North American Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Let's go!
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
Give me a freaking auto!
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports.
Brock Ewert is my hero.
Jay Buhner just punched me in the kidney.
We're going to give you a minute.
Doesn't really work that way, Sherm. This is a show that has my name on it.
It kind of does, though.
Now here are your hosts, Brock Ewert and Mike Salk.
Hello! Mariners are a good team. They're a very good team. I think that point is now very clear. We know it. We know it to be true. The next week, Brock will essentially just confirm it. But the Mariners are a good team, and I don't think anybody is really doubting that at this point. Whether or not they're a great team, I think, is what will be determined in October and in the postseason. But after what they did on this road trip, and specifically this weekend, this is a really good.
Pretty incredible, man. Pretty incredible. An old Salkyism, Brock and Salkyism from the way back is let other people talk about you. Let other people say it, Jim Mora. You don't need to be the one saying it. Let other people say it, Nick Holt. You don't need to be the one saying it. So I'm going to say it for you, Salk. You have stood out there at times, in the wilderness screaming, right? Some people thinking you're a madman. You don't know really what you're talking about. Some people thinking maybe you jinxed the Mariners. But you have been a very loud and a very proud and a very right voice when it's come to this club, and really when it's come to the Astros and the Rangers and the Tigers and some of their peers in the American League. You have said it more loudly and more clearly than anybody that the Mariners aren't just a good team; they're a much better team than all the rest of them. And they have shown that and put that together. They've done it at home since the All-Star game. There's been nobody better than the Seattle Mariners at home. And after a couple really brutal road trips, they just said enough's enough. Going to pull up our pants, going to go to work, and we're going to end the Astros in their building, in their last home series, and send them all home crying, which is exactly what they did this weekend. So kudos to you, my friend.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I think I've been wrong about so many things with regards to the Mariners this year that I'll take a couple of
platitudes,
shots in the dark. Where I think I've understood the other teams better than I've understood the Mariners this year. The Mariners have continued to confound me, and every time I think they're going in one direction, they go in another until really the last week or so. But the other teams, I just kind of looked at Houston, Texas earlier, those just aren't that good. They're just not the same team.
Is that through your lens of just kind of all your years of watching baseball? Is that through your lens of seeing kind of what championship teams are and having been around them? Do you think that's kind of built on that?
And some of it's kind of a gut feel and just there's something wrong there. Like Texas, they're just not good enough, and they're about to not make the playoffs. I think they're probably eliminated by the end of the day today, maybe tomorrow. The Astros might not make the playoffs.
Yeah.
Detroit might not make the playoffs.
Yeah.
Cleveland, we'll see. I mean, but one or two of those teams are not going to make the playoffs. That's pretty remarkable, right? Considering. And right now, it's essentially a coin flip between Houston, Detroit, and Cleveland. Which one's going to be in, which one's going to be out. So how good are any of those teams? Cleveland doesn't really have all that much talent. Passon certainly told us all about it over the week, last week on Tuesday. And I was giving him a little grief over the weekend just for fun. But they whooped up on Detroit, and then Detroit went to Atlanta and got spanked. Meanwhile, Cleveland keeps finding ways to win, and if they win tonight, they're going to put Detroit in a very uncomfortable position.
Yeah, I think they play a 3-game set, right? I think is everybody off today in baseball, or
I thought Cleveland played today. I might be wrong.
No, there's 3 games going on today, but they're all National League games.
Oh, okay, my bad. Never mind.
Yeah, no, that's all right. But Cleveland, Detroit go for 3, and the way you're going right now, and you handle your business,
and then Detroit finishes with Boston.
That's right.
So, Detroit, if I had to guess, I don't know whether Detroit's going to be in the postseason. Houston might end up sneaking in with Cleveland as the final two. Cleveland ends up in that scenario as the division winner in the Central, and then it's really down to the Tigers and Astros.
Red Sox and Astros,
yeah. And if the Red Sox are beating the Tigers a whole bunch of games in that scenario to allow Cleveland to get in. maybe it's Houston at that point because they, find a way to sneak in the last 6 games.
You know what the Lion does, Salk? The Lion doesn't concern himself with the sheep.
That's damn right. Because
You know
you're
what I'm
looking
saying?
ahead now.
Yes,
all
you are.
those teams are behind you.
And you know what you're
Detroit's
looking
behind
ahead
you.
to now? You
Houston's
take care of
behind
business.
you.
You're the number 2 seed. And you get to watch all of those sheep get to go play in a short series and go knock each other out, and then they're going to come into your home. So I ask you, how did they do that this weekend? How did they go in and not just win a series? How did they go in and just put a stake right through the heart of the Astros in their house?
Well, let me go back a little farther. Today is the 22nd of September. Let's go back 3 weeks to the start of September.
Okay.
Since the very beginning of September, the Mariners lead the American League in runs, home runs, on base percentage, slugging percentage, and OPS. That was as of last night, but I think they scored a whole bunch of runs, so I don't think anything would have changed. The Mariners lead the American League since the start of September in runs, home runs, on base percentage, slugging, and OPS. I don't know what else you would possibly need to lead the league in offensively other than those categories. I mean, obviously, runs is the most important.
And the highest run differential they've had all season, I believe it's plus 43 in the month of September.
Just for 1 month.
Just for 1 month.
Runs,
Yes.
home runs, on base percentage, slugging, and OPS. They lead the American League in all of those categories since the start of September. But that's not
Michael.
all. But Brock, let me also say that during that same month, they are second in the American League in both ERA and WHIP, walks and hits per innings pitched. Probably the two most basic and telling stats.
That's like how you win 15 of 16 games or something darn near.
Yeah, no kidding, right? I mean, and you look through it because I was curious about the other teams. That's kind of what got me going down this road. Is like, all right, I'm not sold on, as I've told you now 100 times, the Tigers, the Astros, the whatever, all those teams. What about the teams in the AL East? Because really those three, I think, are much bigger threats than the other teams in the West and the Central. And so I went kind of looking, okay, where are those three teams at? Boston, New York, and Toronto. And all of them are on the offensive leaderboards for the month. I'm just looking at how they're playing now and basically since the trade deadline.
Yeah.
All three of them are right there. But pitching, not so much.
Nope.
They're not there on the pitching side of it. They're kind of spread out all over for ERA. I think the highest of them was 8th in the American League, and the others were outside the top 10.
Yep.
Like they're not pitching all that well. And by the way, they all play in bandboxes. So look, the Mariners are more complete. They're deeper, and they have the highest upside of any of these teams playing right now. I believe it to be the case. I think it's the case, whether or not you're willing to admit it to yourself. And if you ask Tim Kirchin, who was on with, I believe, Wyman and Bob late last week.
Bump and Stacy.
Of course I got that wrong with Bump and Stacy on Friday. I was playing golf, I'll just be very clear. But he was on with Bump and Stacy on Friday, and he says, look, we're not the only ones who feel that way. I'm sorry. I don't know the cut number more. Can we throw that Tim Kirchin cut on there?
I remember at the trade deadline, I spoke to a talent evaluator who I trust implicitly. And I said, is there anything about the Mariners that worries you? Because we all know, just when you get excited about the Mariners the last few years, something goes wrong. And he said, no, I'm not worried about anything with the Mariners. They're that good. That's what he told me at the trade deadline. And they've started now to play like a team that doesn't really have any significant weaknesses. So I really like where the Mariners are right now. I think they are good enough to win the division, win the pennant, and win the World Series with, of course, a bunch of things falling in the right place. And I'm not sure I've been able to say that about the Mariners in a really long time.
I love the way he emphasized it. They're that good.
Interesting.
In that series in Houston, they were that good. J.P. Crawford said it as he was leaving the clubhouse, wherever they were before Houston, and he used a little expletive to emphasize it, that they were ready.
LFG from him?
They were
LFG?
ready. They were ready to go. And from the jump, they were ready to go in Houston. They were the better team. There wasn't a fluky win. There isn't an Astros player, an Astros talent man, anybody in that clubhouse, anybody around that club, any of the 40,000 trying to make noise in that house. All of them left the Crawford boxes going, yep, they are that good. They are. And they're better than us, and they just shoved it in our face.
It's interesting. You focused on that phrase from Kirk, Jen. I kind of focus on the other one where he says they really don't have any weaknesses.
Nope.
And I think that, to me, is the thing.
Bullpen's a little scary. Bullpen, I'm not gonna lie. Bullpen.
You're a little nervous about the pen?
Bullpen's a little tenuous, even with a 7-0 run, whatever it was. Like, okay, where are we going here?
There's an argument to be made that
Saturday
you feel
got a little nervous.
Do you feel better about a 2 or 3 run lead than you do a 7-run lead with the Mariners at times, just based on who that means would be coming out of the pen? I think you could make a conversation there. But Bizzardo's pretty nasty over the last week again. Brash looked like he got it back again last night. Munoz has been doing his job. So I don't know. And then you add in the defense, and you add in Robles in right field, and we'll talk through the catch he made on Saturday. And you add in the home run power, and Julio, and Suarez, and obviously Cal breaking the record and then continuing to go on from there as now the all-time leader of Mariner home runs in a season, and that's just going to keep going. And you talk through the starting pitching, Brock, which we've barely mentioned here, but all 3 starters and really all 5 of them their last turn through the rotation were tremendous. And whatever I said about Luis Castillo, George Kirby certainly came in on Saturday and was like, hold on. No, not so fast. You just wait, because look what I'm about to do in Houston. So, I mean, look, they don't really have weaknesses right now. 1 through 9, the lineup is clicking. 1 through 5, the rotation looks good, and we'll wait and see what's going on with Brian Woo's Peck. The back end of your bullpen's good. If the only weakness you're pointing to right now is their non-leverage relievers aren't as good as you want them to be, you're talking about a team, and not surprisingly, the stats and the standings back it up, that right now is on pace to clinch during this Colorado series. And if you've never been to a game, to a playoff clinching game,
pennant clinching game, clinching game,
go, because both of those things are on the table here Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and not only that, home field or a first round bye clinching game. So there are a lot of opportunities in front of the Mariners here in just the next 3 days, and I know we'll be talking about all of them.
On this day after a Seahawks win,
the clouds have parted.
Let us give thanks to the Saints.
Holy catfish!
Saint JSN.
JSN makes the catch, makes a man miss.
Saint Torrey.
Oh. He may go 40, 30, 20. And I was out there running for a mile.
Make it 2 straight wins for the Seahawks.
It was a big win for us.
Now they go for 3 straight against the Cardinals on Thursday Night Football.
On the home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports.
I'm attorney Rob Iddens, proud Marine Corps veteran and owner of Warrior Injury Law. I'm a 5th-generation Pacific Northwesterner, graduated from UW and CLU School of Law. At Warrior Injury Law, we have years of experience in the trenches, fighting insurance companies for the people of Washington, my people. If you've been injured, you need a lawyer that is tough, confident, and battle-tested. Call us at 253-WARRIOR for your free case review. Warrior Injury Law, battle-tested.
Eddie's! Is your car road trip ready? Don't get stranded. Get to Bucky's Complete Auto Repair. Bucky's has been preparing cars, trucks, and SUVs for safe, worry-free travel for over 50 years. We take care of your car with experience and good old-fashioned customer service. For all your oil changes, brakes, AC charging, and factory maintenance, choose Bucky's. No appointment needed, and yes, friendly financing is available. Visit Bucky's.com. Bucky's, where your car feels right at home.
So my mother is thinking of switching from Verizon to Pure Talk, but she's worried the deal sounds too good to be true. Michael, she said, how can those Pure Talk people offer me the same basic service as Verizon for so much less money? I said, Mom, go ask Google how much Verizon spends on advertising and promotion. A few seconds later, my mother said, oh my goodness, $12 billion a year? That must be a typo. I'll tell you what I told my mom. It's not a typo. Verizon spends $12 billion a year on advertising and promotion, and their customers are paying for it. Well, Pure Talk doesn't spend that kind of money on commercials. Trust me, I would know. Consequently, they can offer you and my mother unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data on a blazing fast 5G network for just $25 a month. Dial pound 250 and say the words Mike Rowe, and you'll get an additional 50% off your first month. That's pound 250 Mike Rowe. Pure Talk. Everything you need and nothing you don't.
Tired of uneven heating, noisy systems, and high energy bills? The Quilt ductless heat pump from Home Comfort Alliance gives you room-by-room control and serious savings with every system, and every system qualifies for max tax credits. Call the Comfort People at HomeComfortAlliance.com.
You never get a second chance to make a first impression. Superior Linen Service will help your company with logoed apparel, uniforms, floor mats, linen, and more. Give us a call. We answer the phone. Superior Linen Service. It's what we do. Visit suplinen.com.
Change is always happening. It's part of life. And when it comes to music, change is all around us. Songs are rewritten. Classics are remixed. Bands and artists come and go. Even our taste in music changes. Here at Xfinity, we know there's still good in keeping some things the same. That's why we want to do our part with a 5-year price guarantee on our internet. It means no matter what changes, you get 5 years of the most reliable Wi-Fi with our best equipment included for a price that stays exactly the same. Surprised? Life is full of them. One internet price, 5 years, guaranteed. Learn more at xfinity.com/deals. Restrictions apply. New residential customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August 2024.
Want more Seahawks content? Join me, G. Scott, on The Reset. New episodes of the podcast every Monday and Thursday on YouTube or on the Seattle Sports app. It's G. Scott. School's back and it's rally time. Time to rally around the campaign to keep kids healthy. Kids need fruits and veggies to grow strong and stay focused, but for families on tight budgets, that's not easy. Safeway and the Washington State Department of Health have teamed up and need your help. Every dollar you donate at Safeway checkout helps families in need. And with SNAP Produce Match, they get twice as much for the dollar. Next time you're at Safeway, please donate to keep kids healthy.
1-877 Cards for Kids. KARS Cards for Kids.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS.
1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too? Hey man, gaining weight, dragging throughout the day, losing your drive? It could be your testosterone. The team at Revive Men's Health Washington gets men back on track with the energy and drive they've been missing. Meet Tyler, Revive Men's Health Director of Operations, and witness to hundreds of success stories.
I've seen guys come in worn out, discouraged, and just not themselves. A few months into treatment, they're standing taller, speaking with more confidence. It's like watching someone come back to life, like a light switch gets turned back on. The spouse says, "Thank you. I really have my partner back, better than before." That's the moment it all clicks for me, and that's why I do what I do.
Since 2011, Revive Men's Health has helped more than 120,000 men regain their energy and drive. Start your story today with an in-clinic visit or a secure video appointment. Call 206-529-1111 now to book your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation. That's 206-529-1111 or schedule anytime at revivemenshealth.com.
Need to know.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Here's what you need to know. Up first.
Up first? Well, I think we know what's up first. The Mariners sweeping the Astros yesterday, Brock, and lowering the magic number to clinch the division all the way down to, I think it's 3. Somebody's trying to tell me 2. I think the division is at 3. If we, things could change, and I think they could clinch maybe a playoff berth tomorrow night. But to clinch the division, I think you got to get to 3. So that would be Wednesday. And there were plenty of heroes, right? Brian Wu, dominant on Friday. George Kirby, dominant on Saturday. Logan Gilbert, dominant yesterday. All of them really tremendous. Cal hits numbers 57 and 58. He passes Junior. He's putting pressure on 60. And Judge, J.P. Crawford, taking the drama out last night with a grand slam. But probably the best defensive play of the season was on Saturday night, and it belonged to Victor Robles.
A look back at second. The 0-1 pitch. Slider swinging a fly ball into shallow right center field. Hustling in, diving for the ball. Making the catch is Robles. The throw into second base. They are going to double up Myers. Holy smokes, what a play. A season-saving diving catch by Victor Robles in right center field. The toss into second to double up Myers, and the ball game is over. The Mariners hang on and win it.
Just incredible. Right, just incredible. We talk about sports being the best reality TV there is. That you can't write the scripts. Reality TV, as we all know, got producers behind the scenes trying to write the scripts. Sport doesn't have that. And for Victor Robles early in this season to be lost, diving into a net and fracturing his shoulder and everything else, and then to just have the stones and the wherewithal to dive as Julio. And by the way, I think Buhner said it best too. Give some credit to Julio right there, that it wasn't a garage sale, that he got out of the way, could feel Robles coming, had that sense. Robles doubles it up, makes the play. At that point, you win the series. And at that point, it just set the table for the sweep yesterday, which was just utterly incredible.
Yeah, Detroit lose. Mariners 2 games up on the Tigers now, and really 3 when you throw in the tiebreaker there because they beat them with that sweep at the end of the first half of the season. It just... Look, man, they're in all likelihood going to end up here with a first-round bye. Pretty incredible. Final off day of the season today, and then that quick little 6-game sprint to finish, 3 against Colorado and 3 against the Dodgers. By the time you get to the Dodger series, they may not matter. We'll wait and see. And Brian Wu, kind of the one question mark, right? We'll see how he's feeling day-to-day, listed currently with the pec injury.
You ever had a strained pec, Salk?
I have not.
No?
I don't think.
Lyle, you ever strained a
I've
pec?
been sore from lifting. Does that count? Look, if they beat Colorado here in a couple of games and everybody does what they're supposed to do and loses, you may not even need to throw Brian Wu for the rest of the season. Let him sit on ice until the playoffs.
Here's the second thing you need to know.
I don't know that we've ever gone 21 and a half minutes into a show together, Brock, Monday after a Seahawks game without mentioning them, but here we are, and this one was never close, not for 1 second. The Seahawks dominated in New Orleans, or against New Orleans, rather, 21 in the first quarter, 38 in the first half. Offense, defense, and special teams.
Kroger is punting. Torrey Horton, the rookie, is deep for the Seahawks. He stands just inside his own 20. I saw Kroger during warm-ups, and he had a couple of rainmakers, and here's one. This is a long, high spiral. Horton back at his own 5. Gets 1 block, gets 2 blocks, turns upfield, got some running room across the 30, 35. He may go 40. What a block. Midfield 40, 30, 20, 15, 10, 5. Mr. Horton. Touchdown, Seahawks. Unbelievable blocks. Great run by the rookie. 95 yards. And the Seahawks take a 13-0 lead over the Saints. Holy catfish. What a return. And what a great job of blocking by those special teamers.
Well, Salky, I know what highlight we're playing for Mike Macdonald and Dave Pearson, a little over 2 hours. I think that one just encapsulates about everything in that game. And you heard the old linebacker, Dave Wyman, up there, and he knew exactly what that linebacker, Surratt, did. He knocked the living lights out of that punter. And Torrey Horton, there's a reason, Salky. He took 3 of them back in college. Right, he was a plus returner in college. And the old adage of put your toes at the 10, and if the ball's over your head, let it go. Not in this NFL. He caught that sucker at the 4 or 5, the longest punt return in Seahawk history. It was helped by some key blocks in front of him, but his timing, his feel, him carving right through the middle of the field on a return, it was A++ stuff.
And also, was it Bell or Nehemiah Pritchett? I couldn't tell who's the closest player to him. But he
doesn't block in the back?
He didn't block him in the back. Do you know who that was, Maura?
I think it was Pritchett. They talked to Horton about Pritchett and Surratt.
I thought it was Pritchett, but I wasn't sure. Regardless, what a tremendous play to get in the way without blocking in the back. It really ends up leading to the whole thing. Rams helped out, Brock. They lose late in position to beat Philly, and then they get their last-second field goal blocked. San Francisco did win. They squeaked by Arizona, but Nick Bosa leaves that game with a knee injury and didn't return, so things are looking pretty good this morning in Seahawks world.
Here's the third thing you need to know.
And we'll just go real quick because we want to get here to Karl Ravech in just a minute. But Cougs made it close for 3 quarters, but just, talent discrepancy. They give up 28 unanswered in the fourth quarter. UW wins 59-25. Big days for, well, really DeMon Williams, but everyone else as well. And the Kraken won their preseason opener 5-3 last night over Vancouver. We'll talk a little bit more about those things later, Brock. That is everything you need to know. 1/4 every hour here on the Brock and Salk Show. Karl Ravech, longtime host of Baseball Tonight, Sports Center, and right now, maybe more importantly, the voice of Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN. He called that game last night. That game that J.P. Crawford put away early. What did he think of these Mariners, of Cal Raleigh, of everything that he got to see this weekend? We'll ask him next on Brock and Salk.
Move aside, Junior.
Swung on. That is cranked. Right field.
Make way for Cal.
It is on its way. It is history. Number 57.
Congratulations, Cal Raleigh.
The most home runs for a Seattle Mariner in a single season.
As Cal rewrites the history books and builds his case for MVP, this is where you hear it all. The home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports.
Yeah, I'm guessing there were a lot of people around Seattle who spent the day inside yesterday, especially with the rain, with the football, with the baseball. It was just really an all-day affair, right? Well, the more time we spend inside, we're a little closer to the chips and the snacks. They're sitting there in the pantry, right, waiting for you. You can spend a little less time outside and probably not being active, right? Well, the number on the scale can really increase the more that happens. So this fall, don't let that happen to you. Watch it decrease instead. You got the ability. You can lose almost a pound every day with Eastside Weight Loss Clinic. It really does work. I lost 24 pounds in a month. I lost 35 pounds after just 8 weeks, and it was fairly easy. No injections, no surgery, no prepackaged meals, no fake food, no counting calories. It's just about being smart. It's about eating healthy, delicious food with not a ton of sacrifice, and some really great coaching and accountability thrown in there as well. If you're even thinking about it, just schedule the 15-minute consultation, have the conversation, and see what you think. You can book a time right now, today, at eastsideweightlossclinic.com. That's eastsideweightlossclinic.com. Dr. Ryan Coogan, D.C. Results may vary.
One of the greatest bands in rock history, The Who, present The Song Is Over, the North American Farewell Tour. See Pete Townsend and Roger Daltrey, The Who, live in Seattle, performing this Thursday at Climate Pledge Arena. Get tickets now at Ticketmaster.com. The Who, for the very last time. The song is over. For more, visit thewho.com.
Want to inspire leadership, teamwork, and confidence in your students? At Bellevue Adventures, school groups take on exciting outdoor challenges that build communication, problem solving, and trust, all in a safe, inclusive environment. Great for class trips, leadership programs, or end-of-year celebrations. Learn more at bellevue-adventures.com. Bellevue Adventures, learning beyond the classroom. Bellevue-adventures.com.
Progressive's Auto Quote Explorer lets you easily compare direct rates from different insurance companies, so you can be confident you're getting the right one, even if it's not with Progressive. Way more confident than you were when you tried online gaming. Who knew 12-year-old boys could be so mean? And where did they learn to swear like that? 2 hours of losing to these underage trash talkers, and you're starting to question if maybe you really should stick to pickleball and other boomer stuff. So use Progressive's Auto Quote Explorer and be confident you're getting insurance that's right for you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
Let's go! You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at VaxAssist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Bonneville International radio station contests are open to participants 18 years of age or older that are residents of Washington State unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contests are not eligible to win unless the station otherwise specifies at its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 60 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. Full general contest rules are available on seattlesports.com or in person at the station during regular business hours.
It's the Mariners' push to the playoffs.
Blasted right field. Goodbye, Josh Naylor.
And it's only on Seattle Sports.
Your future is looking bright. Win a share of $150,000 in glorious golden hour cash prizes every Saturday night in September. Get ready for 24-karat fun with new winners drawn every half hour starting at 6 p.m. Stay till midnight for the guaranteed grand finale of 10 grand, 50 grand on the last Saturday of the month. Don't forget, your Reef Rewards card can save you up to 25 cents per gallon at Lummi Bay Market next to Silver Reef. Silver Reef Casino Resort, located off I-5 exit 260.
Golf carts are fun and easy to drive. They can zip along up to 15 miles per hour in the sunshine, warm air, with your foot firmly on the dashboard. Now that's living. Pacific Power Batteries has some sweet 2021 club car Tempos for sale at about half the price of a brand new one. We offer a 2 or 4 seat model with capacity rated batteries and a 30-day, no hassle, money back satisfaction guarantee. Have a look online at PacificPowerBatteries.com.
Mariners fans, it's time to bring the noise to T-Mobile Park. This lineup is loaded up and locked in. From every moonshot.
Now Raleigh obliterates this. How far? Way back there.
To every how in the world did he catch that moment?
And Julio makes the catch. No fly zone in full effect.
Be here as the squad shuts the door and lights the W.
Munoz looking for the final out. Here's the stretch, and the strike three called, and the ball game is over.
This is our house.
They're going crazy here at T-Mobile Park.
Mariners baseball. Try dance up.
Be here this week as the Mariners fight for their spot in the postseason. The action gets started with 3 straight value games against the Rockies, tomorrow through Thursday. Then don't miss a star-studded showdown against Ohtani and the defending World Series champion Dodgers, Friday to Sunday. Get your tickets at Mariners.com.
This hour of the Brock and Salk Show is powered by Star Rentals, preferred supplier to the West's best contractors.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Brock and Salk.
Weekdays 6 to 10
on Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
A Reaction Monday here, powered by the Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports, 710, seattlesports.com. And yes, there will be some Seahawks conversation today, I'm sure, Brock. We got Blue 88 coming up in 15, some takeaways, Mike Macdonald in 2 hours. But really, today is a day of celebration for what the Mariners just did on the road. Remember, there were questions. Could they win on the road? Yeah, they just had no problems winning 2 series, including the big sweep that capped off yesterday in Houston. Karl Ravech, the legend, was on the call for ESPN, and he's kind enough to take a few minutes with us now. Good morning, Karl. How are you?
Salky and Brock, I'm good. How are you guys doing this morning?
God, it's been forever since we talked to you, and
Yes.
It's good to hear your voice. It was great to have you on the call last night, and it sure felt, at least from our standpoint, like a real statement, not just game, but series for the Mariners. Were there implications bigger than just the 3 wins?
Yeah, I mean, I think anytime you go on the road and sweep, your rival in the division to basically assure you're going to win your first title since 01 is a statement. I think Raleigh continues to hammer the nail that he's an MVP with Aaron Judge. I think the pitching was important with Woo's injury to see Gilbert do what he did last night with his splitter and 2 strikes. Your 9-hole hitter hit a grand slam, and it's a wide open lead. So, yeah, I thankfully, and I appreciate you reiterating, I use the word statement. To me, it felt like a very loud statement by Seattle. And, given the uncertainty of the league, if you were power ranking the American League teams right now, they and probably Toronto are 1 and 1A. I certainly was reconvinced, because we don't see Seattle very often, how good they are. And, that was a great 3-game sweep for them, no doubt about it.
Ravi, what was the setting like in Houston? How would you kind of characterize the building, the fans, just the whole atmosphere and energy?
I'd be honest with you. Sundays are hard, especially now because the NFL's playing, and I know you guys are going to talk about Rory and his returns and Darno and all those things. And to some extent, losing the first two took a lot of, I think, sting out of the Astros because they lost the season series. And to me, we were hoping that would be a split, that Sunday would mean the season series, because that's a huge deal to win that, because they're not up by 3, they're really up by 4. I mean, that's the plight that the Astros feel. So the building wasn't as loud, as jumpy as it probably was on Friday and Saturday night, to be honest. And look, 2 innings in at 7-0. So I'm not sure people that were on their way would continue to come, or those that were there would say, you know what, let's just think about getting home early. It's Sunday, we got school tomorrow, and going to bed. So they sucked the air out of that building in a hurry.
Tim Kirchin said on our air on Friday that he felt like he had
How
heard
did he
from
say
an
it? Did he say it with his voice?
Of course.
Did you hear the high-pitched voice?
Tim Kirchin was on our air on Friday, and he Tim's the best, obviously.
You won't believe what J.P. Crawford did last night. You won't believe it.
He said he'd heard from an executive, and he used the phrase that the Mariners really have no weaknesses. And I don't know whether they're the best team in the American League or not. I think right now they are, at least on paper, and they're playing that way in September.
Yeah.
But sometimes these games get decided not by your strengths, but by your weaknesses. And I wonder if you agree. Do they have weaknesses right now? What stands out to you?
I think that's a relative question when you compare them to other teams' flaws. And as you look at the American League, there are flaws everywhere. I would say that there are far fewer than most other teams. And maybe that holds through the National League as well. I mean, the Phillies are without Zach Wheeler. That's a big hit for them, even though they may be the best team in the league. The Dodgers have had questions all year about their pitching, which now actually seems to be as healthy as it's been. Is Brian Woo's pec injury bigger than they're leading on? Is it literally not much, and he's day-to-day and can come back, and maybe this was another silver lining in the sweep, and that maybe you can really rest him if you want to and not get him back on the mound. Defensively, they're really good. Crawford catches everything that's hit to him. Robles played Superman this weekend. Julio, in a lot of ways, Cal Raleigh's ascension to MVP status, I think, helps Julio quite a bit. He doesn't get talked about very much, and yet he's having an unbelievable season in center field. The Mariners have 3 center fielders playing the outfield, which is a big deal defensively because, to your point, it may not be your strengths, but sometimes those weaknesses get exposed on a line drive that isn't caught, on a throw to a cutoff man that sails over his head. And in that case, Seattle is really in a good spot. They don't make mistakes that hurt themselves, and they got a platinum glove guy behind home plate who's being talked about for his offense more than his defense.
Does he remind you? Karl Ravech here with us. You know the voice. He's all over the place at ESPN and was down in Houston calling the series sweep for the Mariners. Does Cal Raleigh, all your years around baseball, Ravi, does Cal remind you of anyone you've covered?
Before Salvador Perez became Salvador Perez, he was and he still is, but he was kind of a understated big guy. Raleigh and I sat with him for 20 minutes. I'm sure he was wondering about minute 15. Are we going to end this interview soon? But he was incredibly gracious with his time. Like he is a very there's not a lot of notoriety that he brings on himself. He certainly doesn't seek the spotlight. By the same token, part of our conversation, Brock and Salk, you were last night, both Judge and Raleigh are really good human beings. They're great teammates. They rarely, they never make it about themselves in my interactions. In fact, they're almost reluctant to talk about themselves, which is why I focused a lot of that conversation on his dad and making him a switch hitter and how that whole thing transpired and this obsession that his dad had with Mickey Mantle and switch hitting. On some levels, he's one of those superstars, and Judge is another one that doesn't require a lot of spotlight, doesn't require a lot of social media attention. And for all the bling that we have in the game and the platforms that people put themselves out there on, Raleigh seems far more interested in being the same kid that he was as he was growing up to who he is and what he is now. And to Seattle's, great credit for the future, as he said last night. He's got roots there now, but he's long-term Seattle. And that's one of the most important positions, as you all know, on a baseball field, strength up the middle. And to have that guy as your backbone, that's a wonderful thing. So he reminds me of the understated superstars that don't need attention. And as you know, Brock, having played, those are the best kind of superstars. You don't want them to be the guys that need attention and after a game be the ones that have to answer the questions. You want them to deflect, and he does that as well as anybody.
It's so amazing when you see a switch hitting catcher like that, and you and I grew up a town away. You're a couple years older than I am, but obviously you can't help but think about Jason Varitek because they're built similarly. You think about Jorge Posada. You think about these switch hitting catchers, and for a long time it's like, oh, maybe he could get to that level. He's kind of surpassed all those guys at this point, and now we're talking about Mickey Mantle and Ken Griffey Jr. How's that? Sometimes I have to pause and just think about the fact that those are the names we're comparing to Cal Raleigh.
Yeah, and he does too. And I mean, Eduardo sits next to us last night. I mean, he knew him from his Florida State days, and he wasn't that guy at Florida State. And, one of the things I asked Dan Wilson, as a guy who can appreciate the challenges that being a catcher puts on you offensively, and he's at a loss for words as to how somebody who catches as often as he does. And it's not only that he plays the position, he plays it well. He's not one of those guys who gets down on one knee, which is a way to help rest your legs. He's an old school catcher, which means he puts a little more pressure on his knees than most others do. And obviously his nickname implies that his knees are supporting quite a bit of weight. So he does a hell of a job that way. But no, it doesn't make a lot of sense. And the question to Dan is, so next spring when you guys gather in Arizona and you are often asked, so what do we expect out of, what do we expect out of Raleigh? What do we expect out of Naylor if he comes back? What do we expect out of Julio? I don't know what the answer to that question is, and he wasn't sure. He's not yet trust your back of the baseball card guy that you can pencil in for 40 to 50 homers a year. He could have 25 next year. You don't know that. So this is such an aberrational season that way for him because I think his previous high was 34. We're going to hit 60. So, no, he doesn't understand it. Very few do. And look, this is hardly an indictment on Cal Raleigh. But as you all know, we had a sport that if somebody went from 34 to 60 homers years back, red flags would come up. Not the case with him, obviously, and thanks to our drug testing, et cetera. But this is an aberrational year, and we'll find out next year how aberrational. So, yeah, this is rarefied air that he is in. And those guys that you mentioned, in particular, Mantle and Griffey are Hall of Famers. Cal Raleigh is not nearly yet a Hall of Famer. This is now you got to do this repeatedly. But he's having a Hall of Fame type season for sure.
Maybe something in those Costco hot dogs. I don't know.
It may be.
Hey, Ravi, very last thing for me.
Those Costco hot dogs, boys, I know this, that if Eduardo and Raleigh are eating them, it does tend to settle in your backside. That's for sure.
But the great thing is you can provide them for $15 and get them each 6, and they'll be totally fine.
Yeah, oh no. He said there's no better deal than a Costco hot dog or a slice of pizza.
A very last thing for me here, Ravi, and thank you. And for those of you wondering, yes, Karl never stops working. Flying to the next stop and the next destination and in the airport. So thank you for doing this. Seriously, I always loved covering games and the proximity you get. Right, you watch from afar, but then you get up close, and you get that much more takeaway. Right, you get that much more of a feel for a club, for a manager, for a clubhouse. As you get a little closer to them, as you and Eduardo and Coney got a chance to do that. I wonder if there was any perception you had of seeing the Mariners for the first time in a long time, and then the reality of walking away from this club.
Yeah, I mean, oftentimes in sports, it's not necessarily that you're playing against the best team. It's when you're playing against a team, and are they playing the best? We picked up Seattle after they clinched the season series against Houston. They were a very relaxed, comfortable bunch, at the same time very confident. And I think Dan Wilson does a terrific job. He seems to have his finger on the pulse of the group and which buttons to push. And there's great faith in Raleigh, who made a few trips out to the mound last night. At times you wouldn't necessarily go out there. I think he walked out to talk to Gilbert with 2 outs and nobody on. And it felt a little bit like a lecture to Logan Gilbert to sort of stay focused. And again, that's the respect that Raleigh has, and Dan's experience in the Pacific Northwest is important. I guess one of the takeaways that we touched on briefly, but was so critical, was just how impactful and important that play Robles made on Saturday was. If that ball gets down or it gets deflected away and somehow that's a tie game, and the Mariners lose Munoz, if he's not available for Sunday, and the Astros somehow win that game, and you go into Sunday with the chance for Houston to win the series. I mean, as much as Seattle was inflated by that play and the season series going their way, Houston was deflated. And they got further deflated when Jeremy Pena, who was, the starting shortstop, scratched about an hour before the game because of oblique injury. They've just taken a lot of big body blows with injuries. Alvarez, and of course not having Tucker and Bregman back this year. So the Mariners were living high when we saw them Sunday early in the afternoon, and the Astros were down on the mat. And look, a grand slam will keep you down on the mat. So, yeah, I mean, just a really confident group, knowing they're going home to wrap this whole thing up. Excited about what Seattle will do for them when they get back and how these fans. I was there in 2001. I know how great that place was. I was there at the Kingdome. Loudest building I'd ever been in, and know how passionate they are about all sports. But it's a baseball city, too, where the Mariners are playing great, and they know going home they're due for a really nice landing, soft landing, and hopefully it's the beginning of what will be an amazing end of September and a great October.
How long have you been at ESPN now, Carl?
93, 33 years, 32 years.
That's unbelievable. What a phenomenal ride you've had. Seriously, just what an incredible career and an incredible ride to have been around for so many of these great moments. And I'm assuming baseball was your first love. Is that right?
That's a great question. That's a really good question. I mean, I grew up, many people know, but I'm not sure everybody. I grew up in Boston, just outside. So my idols were Bobby Orr and Larry Bird. And I would say that my passion was, and I played more basketball than I did baseball. I was a third baseman playing baseball at the Little League level, and then a little bit after that, I hated when a big kid got up and hit a hard ground ball, because the fields we played on weren't exactly smooth like the Little League fields we cover the World Series at. So you're getting some hard hops. I did not enjoy that. I'd rather shoot jump shots and make layups. So I was a basketball guy, and I played pond hockey growing up. So I don't know, baseball wasn't my first love. Baseball Tonight was my first broadcasting love, doing that show. And being around that sport and working with over 50 analysts over the years allowed me to appreciate how valuable the Brock Hewards of the world are, to sit next to these guys and figure out a way to tap into the things that they can share and their experiences to make a broadcast better. And thus, you take that Baseball Tonight and baseball experience and bring it to a baseball game, whether it's major leagues, college, or little league. And that's the first love when you talk about broadcasting and Baseball Tonight. That was it, even more so than SportsCenter for me. It was a memorable show. And it led to all the things you just touched on, and I really appreciate you saying that. I haven't yet afforded myself the opportunity to sit there and look back on it, but when I start talking about 95 in Seattle, you're like, yep, I remember that. That was pretty damn good.
That's pretty good. Those rough, mean streets of Needham. Having grown up in Newton, I fear them. I know it's a scary place when you get on those Little League fields.
It gets dark there, but I will say my most favorite job, Salky, was cutting lawns. I was a landscaper. And used to cut lawns in Newton all the time with my best friend. On the day Len Bias died, we quickly went to a package store to grab a six-pack and sort of wallow in our sorrows that he, his family, and the Celtics were feeling. That was brutal. Only matched by the '82 Celtics-Lakers NBA Finals, where we dropped off a case of beer at Larry Bird's front step when his wife Dina answered the door. So that's the landscape was special for me.
Hoping maybe you went over to the Brighams in Needham when it was all said and done to get yourself some peppermint ice cream. So, hey, we appreciate it, Carl. We know you got to run. Thank you. This is great. Let's have you back at some point and just talk some baseball when we don't have anything going on.
When we're hopefully talking World Series for the first time in Seattle sports history.
Yeah, anytime you need me. I think we're calling the Division Series and LCS on the radio, ALCS. So we may be very much involved with your Mariners. Anytime you want, give me a holler.
Very cool.
Good to be on with both you guys.
All right, there you go. Carl. There's Karl Ravech from ESPN. Called the game last night, and I didn't know he was a basketball player. I know Kirchin's a big basketball player. We maybe next time we'll get to the bottom of what some of those pickup games.
Maybe he cut your family's lawn in Newton, Salk. It sounds like maybe he was your parents' landscapers.
He's a little older than I am. That would be tough to imagine. But
no, I'm saying cut your parents' grass.
Yeah, my
He's
parents
younger than your
there,
parents.
man. You know what? That's enough. Can we do a very short Blue 88?
This is Brock and Salk's Blue 88, powered by Xfinity.
We're going to go red, right, tight, close, sprint left, G, U corner, halfback, flat, on one. Ready?
Brock Heward tackles 3 football questions as only he can.
Blue 88.
Now here's your hosts, Brock Heward and Mike Salk.
All right, 3 good football questions for Brock. We call it Blue 88. We're going to do it real quick. Brock, roster construction has paid some big dividends for the Seahawks. How so?
Yeah, a lot of flowers, rightfully so, thrown at Jay Harbaugh and what this special teams unit has done over the first 3 weeks. I said last week in the Blue 88, they were number 2 in the league when it came to DVOA. I'm going to guess they're number 1 in the league. Maybe that late punt return, they gave up some leaky yardage, but my goodness gracious, the special teams have been just that special. They've covered well. They've returned unbelievably, including a punt return to the house, the longest in franchise history. A great return by Derek Young setting the table yesterday. And from a roster construction standpoint, this is what you hope for. When you kept as many tight ends and fullbacks, and you've got linebackers, and you've got Surratt, and you've got Russell, you know what you have, Salk? You have like 240-pound missiles. And when they hit, they destroy. And so their blocking has been fantastic. There's a bunch of little guys trying to cover kicks, a bunch of little guys trying to block. These are tight ends. These are linebackers. These are fullbacks. There was a commitment to keeping that on the roster. And I think the special teams group is paying some dividends and getting some fruits of that return with that construction of big boys.
All right, question number 2. Darnold was tremendous again yesterday, Brock. I think number 1 in the league in passing efficiency yesterday. What are some stats that are jumping out to you through the first 3 games?
Geno Smith was sacked 5 times in Washington yesterday. 5 times. We know what sacks do to drives. We know what sacks do to offensive possessions, which are limited. Sam Darnold's been sacked 3 times in 3 games. I don't think there is any more relevant stat for this offense than the fact that he is not getting hit and harassed and negative plays coming from pass protection. I mean, go look at the last 10 years in Seattle. Russell gets sacked 40, 50 times a year. Geno Smith getting sacked 40, 50 times a year the last 3 years. You're on pace for 17 sacks. That was a point of emphasis for Sam. That was an entire point of emphasis this whole offseason. It's been a point of emphasis in the plan going into each and every one of these games. The fact that he's been sacked 3 times, phenomenal football.
All right, question number 3. Apple Cup, close through 3 quarters, blowout in the 4th. What'd you take away from it?
Biggest takeaway is Wazoo found their quarterback. Should have gone with Zevi Eckhouse from the start of this year. I know why they didn't. They wanted to see if the younger guys can play and yada, yada, yada. He is by far the better option, and the Husky defense still has some challenges. But what Damon Williams did, 16 of 19 for 300 yards, couple 4 touchdown passes. I mean, he just played, it looked like JV versus varsity. His speed, his command, his control. Jonah had a couple more rushing touchdowns, leads country in that, had 100 and something in receiving yards and a touchdown. Just as good as you could possibly play offensively. You knew that was in them against a very, very depleted Wazoo defense. But just phenomenal stuff, and sets the table for a Saturday afternoon game against the #1 team in the country coming to Husky Stadium.
All right, there you go. That is a short version, sorry about that, of Blue 88. But I don't know, I'm just enjoying talking to Karl Ravech. Sometimes these things happen, Brock. Sometimes you just go a little long. And today's just such a big baseball day with everything the Mariners have accomplished now with this weekend sweep and what lies directly ahead of them over the next 3 days here against Colorado, where I think they will, in all likelihood, it's not guaranteed, but in all likelihood, clinch the playoffs, clinch the division, and clinch a first-round bye, probably all by the end of the week. That's pretty incredible. I mean, like, none of that's guaranteed.
Nope.
You got to take care of business against one of the worst teams ever created in the Rockies. But if you do that, like, you're talking about having a...
You're setting the table, man. You're setting the table
having a first-round bye wrapped up before the Dodgers even get here.
For as much Salk talk as there was in 1995 and maybe garage codes back in the day that still reference that decades later, like, you are now on pace to do things not done since then. You know, since really obviously 2001, to do things where you are in control. The ball is in your court. You have set the table. You have done all of that. Your control, right? What you did on this road trip, taking 5 of 6, you were a Matt Brash, right? Close away from sweeping and from winning 16 in a row. And none of it fluky. None of it like, oh, look at that ball bouncing that way. Oh, look at that ball hitting off the base. Oh, look at that call you're getting. No, none of it. None of it has felt fluky at all. You've been the better team. You put your foot down. You're playing your best ball at the absolute best time.
I think it's 15, right? It would be 15 in a row.
15 in a row.
They won 10, right?
Well, and then plus 6 if that Brash,
No, they won 10. That was game 2 of the series.
Was it? All right.
Yeah.
15.
So it would have been 2.
Tomato. Who cares?
I know, but it's still unbelievable, and it doesn't really matter. What's a win here and there between friends? All right, I want to talk about 2 guys, but it's also about 5 guys. It's next on Brock and Salk.
Watch live high school football. It's the Seattle Sports Game of the Week.
Going for it all. He's got a wide open man. 12 touchdown Spartans.
Saturday afternoon, it's a battle for Eastside pride when Redmond visits Inglemoor at 7 p.m.
Pressure, and he's taken down.
Watch the game exclusively on the Seattle Sports app, Seattle Sports on YouTube, and SeattleSports.com.
The senior comes up with a big INT.
See the full 2025 season schedule at SeattleSports.com/high school.
Change is always happening. It's part of life. And when it comes to music, change is all around us. Songs are rewritten. Classics are remixed. Bands and artists come and go. Even our taste in music changes. Here at Xfinity, we know there's still good in keeping some things the same. That's why we want to do our part with a 5-year price guarantee on our internet. It means no matter what changes, you get 5 years of the most reliable Wi-Fi with our best equipment included for a price that stays exactly the same. Surprised? Life is full of them. One internet price, 5 years, guaranteed. Learn more at xfinity.com/deals. Restrictions apply. New residential customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August 2024.
At O'Neill Plumbing, we don't just promise to get the job done, we back it up. No travel charge, no show-up fee, no overinflated pricing, and no out-of-town owners. Just clean, fast, and professional each and every day. O'Neill Plumbing.
Hi, I'm Justin Shirley. We offer 0 down, 0 interest, and 0 payments for 24 months on new roofs. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF now. State Roofing and Exteriors, held to a higher standard since 1968.
I'm attorney Rob Iddens, proud Marine Corps veteran and owner of Warrior Injury Law. We help all types of injury victims like Sean, who was rear-ended in a car accident.
They're just easy to work with. They're fast. I like the fact that he had military service. I can see a lot of Marine in Rob. He's very in charge, really gets things done. But I didn't have to do anything. He offered me a settlement, had a number in my head, was nearly double that. I would refer absolutely anybody to Rob.
If you've been injured, call us at 253-WARRIOR. Warrior Injury Law. Battle tested. Eddie's!
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. 1 discount per household.
Imagine finding your dream home and moving in right away. No waiting to sell your old place first. Sounds perfect, right? That's exactly what Orchard's Move First, Sell Later program lets you do. Buy your new home now and sell the old one later. Here's how it works. Orchard gives you cash so you can buy and move into your new home first, on your timeline. No waiting, no showings, no double moves. Then the Orchard experts take it from there. They handle repairs on your old home for you so you attract the right buyers. Once they're done, a local Orchard agent lists and sells your home for top dollar. Orchard's Move First program gives you the freedom to buy and move into your new home first and sell your old home later. Buy before you sell and get top dollar for your home with Orchard. Ready to find out how much your home is worth? Visit Orchard.com to get your free home valuation. That's Orchard.com.
Dave Wyman here, and since I stopped playing football, we've been fortunate to live in the same house for over 20 years. That type of longevity is a good thing, except 20 years in the same house means a lot of things start to break. Most recently, it's our windows. Virtually every seal has broken, and that's why I reached out to Harley Exteriors. They're local, they're huge fans of our teams, and big listeners to the station. Better yet, they have the best product. Olympic Series windows offered exclusively through Harley Exteriors are manufactured in Washington, designed for Pacific Northwest homes and climate. That means cooler in the summer and warmer in the winter. To celebrate the start of football season, the guys at Harley Exteriors are offering no interest and no payments for an entire year. Also, buy one window and get the second one 40% off. And take another $200 off your entire project. Call 833-HARLEY. That's 833-HARLEY. Or go to harleyexteriors.com.
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
This hour is brought to you by Trajan Wealth Management.
Get his freaking auto! From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports.
I don't read the internet, guys.
Take the bull by the hands.
And Brooke, you are. And Brooke, you are.
Now here are your hosts, Brock Heward and Mike Salk.
Yeah, I want to talk about two guys, Brock, but I'm torn because I also want to talk about podcasts. No, not the brand. I want to talk about Robles. I want to talk about Cal. But I also want to talk about the three guys who pitched starting pitches over the weekend. And
you're not going to talk about Naylor? You're not even going to mention my guy Naylor?
Not even going to mention him, Brock. Not even deserving of being mentioned. No, I'm not going to talk about Polanco because I hate him. No, because you can only talk about so many people at once. You're right. I want to talk about 2, but then it's 5, and then it's 7, and then it's – there really are a lot of heroes.
What about the Italian kiss? What about Dom becoming a pro?
I refuse to talk about him this morning. I'm sorry. You have to set limits, Brock. And I'm only here to talk about these other people.
Okay.
Quickly on Cal, because we've spent so much time this year talking about Cal's home run chase, and I feel like we've gone over and over and over and over this story, and we've showered him with praise, all of the ways he deflects it, and you heard it there again from Ravech. It's incredible. It's almost hilarious to me that after all of this, where Cal is such a huge story all year long, when he finally breaks Griffey's team record, and is now standing alone as the best single season home runs in Mariner history, ahead of Ken Griffey freaking Jr. It's buried to like the 10th story of the day. Like, that's hilarious to me. And I feel like,
can I at least hear that call?
Sure.
Can we it's cut 2, I do believe. Can I at least hear? You're right. There is so much going on.
Well, because
Seattle
ultimately
sports.
it is more important to, win the division, to get a bye, because you're not here for Cal Raleigh to set a record, just like he's not here for that. You're here for the division. You're here for the ultimate goal of the World Series, and that is going to trump a personal achievement every day. But this guy now has 57, now 58 home runs. It's unbelievable. It's just incredible.
Yeah.
Here comes the pitch to him. Swung on. That is cranked. Right field. It's blasted. It is on its way. It is history. It is gone. Cal Raleigh stands alone. Number 57. He has hit the most home runs for a Seattle Mariner in a single season, passing the Hall of Famer Ken Griffey Jr.
I think we could almost have just a collection of the sound of contact on so many of those home runs. That one included. They are so loud. And as Ravi said, and he's 100% right, Salk, the superstars that are the antithesis of that in the clubhouse, the antithesis of that in the dugout, the Marvin Harrisons and Edgerrin James, the Matt Hasselbacks, the Marshawn Lynch's to a degree, that deflect to everybody else and are so low maintenance and don't want the spotlight and the attention. When you get that, you're spoiled, and you get the main ingredient that usually happens with championship teams, right? When your superstar deflects and he's humble and he's about everybody else, and yet he's the greatest player in the game, when that happens, what do all the rest of the guys on the team going to do? What kind of buy-in and investment? It's off the charts. Oh, you're going to be drama? Oh, you're going to be maintenance? Oh, you're going to be a problem? No, you're not.
Yeah,
you're going to follow in line.
I got 58 home runs. Shut up. And you don't
Walter,
need to say that.
Hey, Walter,
they all know.
pick it up, Walter. Pick it up with 2 outs.
All right, so there's just a minute or two on Cal. Let me give you a minute or two on Victor Robles, who I always love quoting Clarks. I'm not even supposed to be here today. Victor Robles wasn't necessarily supposed to even be here in September. Like, there was a pretty decent chance, and I believed it really from the moment it happened, that we weren't going to see him again this year. Like, I thought Robles was done for the year.
Mm-hmm.
All right, maybe he'll come back in September. Yeah, all right, maybe. Dude dislocated his arm. Like, he's not coming back, in my view, when this happens in April. And here we are. It's September 22nd, and he's not only back, he's one of the most important players on the team, and he's specifically winning them games. So credit to Victor for
Did you say
the hard
he
work.
dislocated his arm?
He did shoulder.
Shoulder, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, that means your whole arm was dislocated, right?
Yeah.
Does your arm not connect at the shoulder?
I think he fractured the shoulder, maybe
whatever,
dislocated
dude.
the joint.
Let's not get into the medical details of it all. This isn't Lethal Weapon 2 in the house on stilts. Like, his arm was dangling. I didn't think he was going to make it back this year.
Shoulder bones connected to yes. And he did so doing what, Salk? He did so doing
diving into a net. I mean, the whole thing is ridiculous.
Fearlessly. And what did he do Saturday night?
He
diving
dove again.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
With
So
230-pound guy just screaming at you as well out of center field.
But he only knows one way to play. Apparently, he only knew one way to rehab. And Dan Wilson, cut 18, says that he's actually been a pretty big factor since coming back.
It's been an epic journey for Vic, and he has stayed true all along, and he worked his tail off to get back here, and and finds himself contributing right away, and that catch there, a huge saver. game saver, and just a big win for us tonight.
Is right. I mean, he I did say earlier, I am curious what that play would have looked like if the camera guy had focused on Robles instead of on Julio. Because I do think it is enhanced a little because you're watching Julio. Oh my God, where did that guy come from? Like he's not in the shot until he makes the catch. And so the drama is exponentially bigger because it looks like it's not going to be caught. It's not that, there's anything garden variety about a diving catch, but if you've been focused on him all the way along, I don't know whether you would have had quite the same reaction. But regardless, I mean, season saving, that might be extreme. But game saving, yeah, I mean, he saves the game with an unbelievable defensive play, and it's not the only one he's made. Last point, real quick, because I said it was about 2, but it's also, I just want to touch on the starting pitchers, because we spent so much time last week debating it and talking about it, and everyone we've talked to, Passan and Buster and everybody else says, hey, what makes the Mariners, well, if their starting pitching is great. If their starting pitching does what it's supposed to do, the lineup pretty well takes care of itself now. Well, you just went all the way through the lineup, again, all the way through the rotation, rather, against 2 pretty good hitting teams. The Royals are okay, and the Astros are, one of the better teams in the American League, whatever the heck that means. And they just destroyed them. I mean, like, that starting pitching just absolutely like a knife through butter, no problem with either of those 2 lineups.
Yep, and I loved, you kind of feel it with George. You feel it with him every once in a while, right? Because he's willing to wear his emotions on the sleeve a little bit more than Luis is and a little bit more than Bryce is. And those, like he's going to put it out there. And you could feel his intensity. Like, give me the ball. Like, it's time to shove. Like, it's time for me to step up and do my job. Luis has gone out here and put up zeros and been an absolute stud. And you know what? My stuff is as good, if not better, than Luis Castillo. So let me go out here almost hard-headed. We'll see about Wu. We'll see about a Peck. That's uncommon, right? It's usually shoulder. It's at times lat. Obviously, it's been elbow for him in the past. So, I think we'll get a lot more information certainly tomorrow morning when Hollander addresses the media at the start of the homestand. But my goodness gracious, Salk. That's 5, and we could talk about 10 more. Yeah. You could talk about Spire, right? Yep. You could talk about Polanco. You could talk about Naylor, whose edge in yesterday just in a game that's like, no, we're not going to just be satisfied with winning the series. We're going to sweep these suckers. And just his defense and starting that second inning with a little bunt to get the whole thing going. Like, man, you felt his edge. So this is what, again, championship elite teams do. It's not about one guy.
Like with that bunt,
Did you
he
hear
was
Lyle?
doing like the old Arsenio thing, like hoo. He was doing the whole dog pound thing. It was very impressive.
You think Lyle even knows who Arsenio Hall is?
No, but he was definitely channeling him in that moment. All right, that's about almost 2.25 hours of almost straight Mariner talk. And there's still a little bit to come, but I also want to make sure we get to some football. We've got takeaways from the game yesterday coming up in 20 minutes. We'll have Mike Macdonald, of course, coming up at 9:30. It's a Reaction Monday, Brock, powered by the Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. We'll give you everything you need to know next right here in your home for the Mariners playoff chase. Man, it's right there in front of them. Seattle Sports on 710, seattlesports.com.
Be the first to hear from Seahawks head coach Mike Macdonald the morning after every game on the Mike Macdonald Show.
Good morning, Coach. How are you?
This thing on?
On and ready for you.
The morning after every Seahawks game at 9:30 with Brock and Salk.
Being in front of the 12s is going to be a lot of fun. Trying to bring everybody together so we can push in the same direction.
Get the podcast on the Seattle Sports app and seattlesports.com. It's the Mike Macdonald Show, only on Seattle Sports, the home of the Seahawks.
Let's talk about your hair. Well, maybe after we talk about my hair. I've got great hair, as you know, and it's because of Advanced Hair. Yep, Advanced Hair Restoration. Their simple one-day treatment offers life-changing results that I can attest to. Guys, it's not magic, but it's close to it. They put hair where you need it most, and bam, it grows. It's actual science. Advanced Hair has top-rated physicians, modern technology, and best of all, you get your very own natural hair that begins to regrow the very next day. It's even guaranteed to grow for life. So schedule your free consultation now at 425-449-8185. Mention Curly to qualify for $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. It's a limited time offer. Advanced Hair, the winner of the 425 Business of the Year, and the team that gave me my hair back. More importantly, they'll do the same for you. Guaranteed. 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
Rain is coming. Is your roof ready? The rainy season is approaching fast, Seattle, and 3 Tree Roofing has your roof replacement covered. Get $500 off by scheduling your free estimate at 3treeroofing.com. Their professional installers guarantee a seamless replacement this rainy season. 3 Tree Roofing, your Puget Sound roofing experts.
Cal has hit more home runs than any catcher in the history of the game of baseball.
The Mariners are in the hunt for October, and now's the time to pack the park and bring the energy.
The look in by Brash, the payout pitch on the way, and it's strike three called. He got him looking.
We're electric. I feel like the fans can feel that, and we're just going to keep this going.
An absolute tracer from Julio. He has homered in back-to-back at-bats.
Keep bringing the energy. We really need it. Let's go.
Out to right field. Way back there. J.P. Crawford. Game winner walk-off fashion in the ninth inning.
This team has a lot of fight. You guys have been electric. You guys are the key to this, so thank you guys.
The postseason is in our sights. Be here and be loud. Mariners baseball. Seize the moment. Endless hours of research, seeking referrals, dozens of calls. Hiring the right attorney can be a challenging process during an already difficult time. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains.
In Washington State, Tom, there are thousands of attorneys to choose from. Referrals and online research can be helpful, but discovering the right attorney requires a conversation. It can be hard to identify integrity and authenticity without that interaction.
So, what do you recommend?
We encourage anyone looking for personal injury representation to call for a free consultation with our team before making a decision simply based on referrals or online research. Accident victims need an attorney that listens, demonstrates honesty, and is genuinely understanding of their unique circumstances. The care, attention, and preparation that our firm provides throughout the case mirrors the effort involved when taking on the insurance companies.
Save time and avoid mistakes after an injury. Contact the caring and compassionate team at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
At Cressy Door, we have the perfect garage door for you. Come visit our brand new garage door and fireplace showroom and let our experts help you find the perfect garage door. Cressy Door.
This is the home of the Seahawks.
Going to let one fly deep. Got a man out there. Ball is caught down at the 10-yard line, and it's JSN.
Seattle Sports.
When it comes to the security of your business, doubts can creep in about who you're trusting to protect it. Are they a reliable service? How will I know if something happens? Are they keeping everyone safe? At Bay Alarm, we got you. For nearly 80 years, we've been putting our customers' minds at ease with our advanced technology and personalized support. Feeling insecure about your current security service? Visit bayalarm.com today to talk to a local security expert.
Rick Riz here with a big thank you to everyone who submitted a nomination for Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington's Improve Your Play program.
Thanks, Rick. This is Elisa with Pella Windows and Doors. With so many amazing entries, we decided to award 2 additional teams with $2,500 prizes. We are thrilled to announce Team Wilder Basketball and Linwood High School Football.
Thanks to you and Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington for helping our local youth thrive.
This is my life. This is my family's life. The people that work here, they're my family. When something's not right with them, it's not right with us.
We get notifications every time we get a review. And I said, how do you not let it eat you up? Sometimes I feel so responsible. And his answer was, I just look at it as an opportunity. We need that feedback to learn and to do better. I'm grateful for the feedback.
Big part of sales is the relationship aspect. People want to do business with someone they can trust, who's a real person. They don't feel like you're just going after their money. And when you take the time to get to know them, get to know their needs, not be a car salesman, but be a consultant, then they feel more comfortable with you, and the experience is better on both sides.
It's not about closing deals.
It's about opening relationships, helping people make the right choice. The LJ Way is the Lee Johnson Auto Family.
Need to know.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Here's what you need to know. Up first.
Yeah, where do we start? Well, how about here? Mariners sweeping the Astros yesterday. Brock, they just keep getting better and better. This road trip was nearly perfect. I mean, you're one inning away from perfection on the road trip. Unfortunately, that one got away from Matt Brash. But other than that, they did it all. They led nearly every minute of this series against Houston, taking all 3 games in the first inning and just going from there. Lots of heroes. Obviously, Brian Wu. Obviously, George Kirby. Logan Gilbert. Cal with 2 home runs to get to 58 and pass Junior. J.P. Crawford with the grand slam. Victor Robles with the big catch. You mentioned Josh Naylor. Polanco. Like, you just go on and on. And when it finally ended late last night, yeah, it did feel like there was an element of a passing of the torch.
And the Brash 3-2 to Altuve. Fastball, strike 3 called, and it's over. The Mariners win it 7-3 over the Houston Astros. They sweep aside Houston here at Daikin Park. Matt Brash picks up a 1-2-3 bottom of the 9th inning. The Mariners are now 3 games in front of the Astros.
Yeah, and I think Lyle's right. There is something to having Altuve be the final out of that game, and it does feel a little bit more symbolic.
We're going to talk a lot here in takeaways, and certainly with Mike Macdonald next hour, about complementary ball. What does complementary ball look like? Football, it's pretty easy because there's 3 distinct phases where you get to evaluate that: offense, defense, special teams. Baseball can be a little harder to do that at times. We don't talk about it nearly as much because there's pitching and there's hitting, there's defense, but they're all kind of commingled together. So they did everything this weekend. You want the long ball? They got the long ball. You want a little small ball and bunts and sack flies? You got that. You want elite pitching? You got that. You want tremendous defense? You got that. I mean, honestly, was there anything over the course of this 3-game sweep that they did not show their opponent? And Jay Buhner talked about it with us right at the start of the month. And he's like, when do you know a team's locked in? When everybody else is talking about you. And everybody else got to watch Sunday Night Baseball and got to see a team put a little icing on the cake yesterday of one of the most dominant sweeps in Mariners history.
Yeah, well said. Detroit loses, so the Mariners now 2, really 3 with the tiebreaker up on Detroit for that second first-round bye. They get a day off today, last one, and then Colorado, and then L.A., and that's it. It all starts tomorrow night at home, and we will in all likelihood see a couple of different clinches over the course of the next 3 or 4 nights.
Here's the second thing you need to know.
All right, Seahawks game was never close, not for 1 second. I mean, just if you talk about domination over a 3-game series, how about just 1 quarter, blow them out, and that's essentially the end of the game. They dropped 21 in the first quarter, Brock, 38 in the first half. We mentioned Torrey Horton with the big punt return. Yeah, the next one didn't go a whole lot better punting-wise. Cut 8. It was not a pretty picture for New Orleans.
Once again to punt. Torrey Horton is still winded from his 95-yard punt return for a touchdown last time. He's just inside the 25. It's blocked. The Seahawks block it. It's going to be picked up. No, it's going to be fallen on. The Saints fall on it, but it's the Seahawks football at about the 11-yard line. It was DeAnthony Bell who got free, and I think he came through untouched to block that right off the kicker's foot. Kellen Moore comes home to Washington State, and he's saying, what in the world else can go wrong? Seahawks special teams spectacular here in this first quarter, and the Hawks have the ball 1st and 10 at the Saints' 11-yard line.
Yeah, they would score to go up 21. Just an incredible start.
I had not heard that call, but it was at that moment. And they panned over, obviously, to Kellen Moore, and I think that's probably why Raves brought him up there as well. It was at that moment that I felt very bad for the Prosser Mustang, the Boise State Southpaw. Chris Peterson was watching that thing closely. He's a great mentor to Kellen Moore. My old offensive coordinator, Scott Linehan, is on that staff. And it was at that moment that I was like, uh-oh. Yeah, being a head coach and a CEO of an entire operation, hiring a defensive coordinator, hiring a special teams coach, having your fingerprints and your pulse on the entirety of your team, it was at that point that the kid from the Horse Heaven Hills area over there in Prosser just had no grasp of that for his ball club, and the Seahawks embarrassed him.
So that was the special teams element, but offense, pretty good. Sam Darnold had a tremendous game. Cut 11, he talked through what he was able to do and why the offense is starting to click.
Yeah, I think, we're right there. We're kind of knocking on the door of what we want to be as an offense and executing at the level we want to execute at, but we just got to keep taking it one day at a time. And, things are going to fall into place, but we just got to continue to have that workers mentality and, grow from this one, watch the tape because there's a lot of stuff to learn from on this tape and, be ready to go by Thursday.
All of that true. Rams help out by losing late. They get beat on a blocked field goal as they were kind of marching in to win the game. Niners win. They squeak by Arizona, but Nick Bosa left that game with a knee injury and didn't return. We'll get one more game tonight, Lions and Ravens in the big Monday night matchup.
Here's the third thing you need to know.
All right, Cougs gave it a shot, Brock. I mean, 3 quarters of pretty good football, but ultimately just not talented enough. The discrepancy too large, and the Huskies score 28 unanswered points in the fourth quarter. UW wins 59-25. Damon Williams with 4 touchdowns in the air, 1 more on the ground, 2 for Jonah Coleman. I mean, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's pretty good with Ohio State coming to town on Saturday.
Yeah, the lights are going to get a lot brighter. The competition's going to get a lot better. The front they're going to see this week, I'm really anxious and excited to see Damon's growth because the first 3 weeks of this season, he's been able to run around. He's been the facilitator and the point guard you wanted. Jonah's been an absolute bowling ball. Jonah Coleman, one of the best running backs in all of college football. Yeah, and in walks, well, you can ask Arch Manning about this Ohio State defense. Now, they'll have to travel. They'll have to come to this house. It's not been too good to them in this house. Napoleon Kaufman and Damon Eward can tell you about that back in 1994. So it's a long trip. They're 10.5-point underdogs, are the Huskies going into it, but the eyes of the country will be on Montlake this Saturday, 12:30 kick Saturday afternoon.
A lot of people upset that when they listed a lot of notable Apple Cup stars over the years, Brock Heward, Damon Heward,
Well, Rich Waltz voiced Damon and Brock, which I appreciated. I sent him a text. Old Richie,
Still,
you want to talk
nothing on the screen there.
You want to talk about Rabbi being, with ESPN for 33 years. Waltz was on the broadcast in the 90s of my games. So old Richie gave me and Dame a little shout out.
Kraken win their preseason opener, Brock, 5-3 over Vancouver. Yanni Newman with 2 goals. Edward Chalet and John Hayden each had a goal. And your boy,
Schwartzy, do anything?
Jaden Schwartz had one as well. 3 assists for Vince Dunn. They'll get back to it tomorrow in Calgary. That's everything you need to know. 1/4 every hour here on the Brock and Salk Show. Kind of fun to see a bunch of those first-round picks playing for the Kraken last night. Chalet and Berkeley Catton.
Well, if we've learned anything about the old Seahawks and the Mariners, Salk, and maybe tomorrow, gosh, when are you going to talk about this? It's hard to find even room to talk about this, but I think the Seahawks and Mariners can tell the Kraken, your first-rounders and your second-rounders and your third-rounders and your diamonds in the rough, they matter.
Yeah. Well, we're going to talk about that. And we're actually going to do some of that coming up at 9 o'clock. I want to shout out a group of people that don't get enough credit. And we will do that at 9 o'clock for both the Seahawks and the Mariners, I promise. Coming up next, takeaways from, God, we've barely talked about the Seahawks game. It's crazy. And they just blew the doors off of New Orleans. So what did we learn? We'll tell you next on Brock and Salk.
On this day after a Seahawks win,
the clouds have parted.
Let us give thanks to the Saints.
Holy catfish!
Saint JSN.
JSN makes a catch, makes a man miss.
Saint Torrey.
Oh. He may go 40, 30, 20.
And I was out there running for a mile.
Make it 2 straight wins for the Seahawks.
It was a big win for us.
Now they go for 3 straight against the Cardinals on Thursday Night Football.
On the home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports.
Hey, Mike Salk here, and I'm going to tell you about a company that's new for me, Trajan Wealth Management. And the simple truth is there's a lot more to retirement planning than just calculating your expenses, maintaining your lifestyle throughout the next stage of life. And Trajan can really help you with that. They can help build a strategy based on realistic options that align with your goals and circumstances. I can't believe Avery's in 8th grade. I'm like thinking about college not that far off. And you may very well be in the same predicament as I am, trying to figure out how you're going to pay for everything and still find a way to retire one day. Well, Trajan Wealth understands the importance of tactical financial investments and tailored insights for growth in line with your risk tolerance. Call them today, Trajan Wealth Management, to learn more about these strategies. 206-466-3300 is the phone number. That's 206-466-3300 with a variety of guidance they can offer on financial objectives, including ways to earn higher potential returns. That sounds good, right? And tax concerns as well. Again, call 206-466-3300 or go to TrajanWealth.com. Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor. Paid advertisement.
Change is always happening. It's part of life. And when it comes to music, change is all around us. Songs are rewritten. Classics are remixed. Bands and artists come and go. Even our taste in music changes. Here at Xfinity, we know there's still good in keeping some things the same. That's why we want to do our part with a 5-year price guarantee on our internet. It means no matter what changes, you get 5 years of the most reliable Wi-Fi with our best equipment included for a price that stays exactly the same. Surprised? Life is full of them. One internet price, 5 years, guaranteed. Learn more at xfinity.com/deals. Restrictions apply. New residential customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August 2024.
Paying extra for tire care is BS. You know, bad service. So at Midas, we're rolling out our BS-free tire guarantee, included with paid installation and tax on every purchase. You'll pay nothing for flat replacements, nada for flat repairs, and zilch for tire rotations every 5,000 miles. That's $0 for all that. So with this limited lifetime tire guarantee, you'll pay a whole lot of nothing compared to what the other guys charge for tire care. That's the BS-free tire guarantee, only at Midas.
Some people just know you can save money on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like you know to check Kirk Herbstreit's pregame analysis first, before talking to your brother-in-law.
In this game, the key thing to watch will be the offensive line versus the front seven. If they can get pressure without blitzing, this could be a long night.
Okay, Kirk.
I know stuff.
Ooh, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first and see what you could save. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Potential savings vary, including based on how you buy, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate North American Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Maura Dooley here. It's time to recognize a woman in our sports community with the 2025 Women of Inspiration Award. The nominations are in, and the Seattle chapter of WISE, which stands for Women in Sports and Events, needs your help selecting a winner. Voting is open now until September 26th at woiseattle.org. The winner will receive a generous cash donation from WISE and their partners for the cause of their choice. Help honor a local woman today. Vote by September 26th at woiseattle.org.
Where you hear Cal's quest for the MVP.
Goodbye, baseball, number 50 for Cal Raleigh.
Seattle Sports, the home of the Mariners.
You've heard the saying, you never get a second chance to make a first impression. Since 1926, my family's been helping local businesses make great first, second, and long-term impressions. We know how to make your company look good with quality uniforms, logoed apparel, floor mats, linens, and more. If you're paying for linen service or doing it yourself, let's have the conversation. The information and quote are free, but the savings and service can really add up. Visit suplinen.com. Superior Linen Service. It's what we do.
Toyota of Renton is in the playoff chase with game-winning deals on your next ride. Score a 36-month lease on the Tacoma at $279 a month with $39.99 due at signing. The RAV4 leasing at $299 a month with $39.99 due at signing. Drive smarter with the all-hybrid Camry leasing as low as $299 a month, or the Corolla from just $219. Whether you're gearing up for the fall or chasing savings, Toyota of Renton is the place to go. Visit toyotaofrenton.com and get in the playoff chase today. Offers valid through September 30th, 2025. Excludes tax, title, license, dealer accessories, and $200 negotiable documentation fee. Model 7540-4432-2559-1852.
O'Brien.
You've still got it, but your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Sponsored by Pfizer.
When your name's on the paint job, your primer better hold up. Painters trust Kills primers for serious adhesion, stain blocking, and a finish that lasts. Now, the full Kills lineup is available exclusively at the Home Depot. Need it fast? Get same-day or next-day delivery, or order online and pick it up in-store. Kills primers Pro results faster. The Home Depot. If you're a pro, you know.
Go from daydreamer to industry leader with Amazon Business. From office supplies to IT essentials, Amazon Business provides tools that help you save costs and make insight-based decisions. Learn how to bring your visions to life at AmazonBusiness.com.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Brock and Salk.
Weekdays 6 to 10.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Oh, my gosh. I'm just trying to wake up, man. Dog sitting this week, and second Frenchie. So we got 2 Frenchies in the house. Oh. And Nala, who's visiting, decided last night she would only sleep essentially between my legs. So just no space at all. I barely slept, and I blame the dogs. And it's
Did 2 Frenchies equal 1 English?
Well, no. I don't think they would say that.
From a size, scale, slobbery, mess, maintenance?
No, bigger.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, more. Yeah.
Okay.
I did a dog DNA test on my dog yesterday.
You did?
I'm kind of excited to see the results. Yeah, people ask me what she is all the time, and I don't know.
When are you going to find out?
2 to 3 weeks.
Okay, well, please keep us informed.
Does she have some German in her, some French in her? My dad did that.
Well, she probably has some German short-haired pointer in her, don't we think?
Yeah, a lot of people tell me that. Apparently, it's like the human one. They said they'll even tell me if she has like siblings nearby, if they've done the test too.
What if she's 28% Irish, like Jesus?
Yeah, what do you think? What do you think if you get some outrageous? Anyhow,
there's no way there's Cairn Terrier in here. That's ridiculous. Let's do some takeaways.
Takeaways.
Oh, I think you said this to Daniel Jeremiah last week. I think you'll probably say it to Daniel Jeremiah tomorrow when he joins the show at 9:30. Salky, you'll say one of the things that I love, the most basic formula in all of football. When 4 beats 5, you give yourself an incredible chance to win. And too often, we have seen that on the other side. We've seen the front 4 of San Francisco, the front 4 of the LA Rams, the front 4 of these elite teams come into Seattle, or when Seattle plays on the road, and those 4 guys whip your 5 offensive linemen, and it's no fun. For Russ, for Gino, just no fun. Well, you have made life miserable for the opposing quarterback now for 3 straight weeks. And that one was handed to you on a platter. You're not going to probably face a worse offensive line. One decimated by injuries early. Left guard making the first start of his career. Good luck in that building. A right tackle that's not really an NFL starting tackle. Good luck. And to live in the shotgun as much as they did. The most underwhelming or underrepresentative number yesterday was just 2 sacks. And kudos to Byron Murphy. He got one of them, a half sack shared with Leonard and, I think it was somebody else, linebacker Ernest. 2 sacks. Come on, man. It was constant. It was effective. The rush was all over the place. Led to false starts, led to holding calls, led to more holding calls, led to a miserable, miserable afternoon for a Saints offense that could never get it going.
It was actually Ty Okada, by the way, who got the
Excuse me, Ty Okada.
Please put some little speck on his name there, Ty Okada.
Sorry, Ty.
Splitting that sack with Leonard when it was all said and done. But you're absolutely right. I mean, they were in the backfield the whole day. You said they won't face a worse offensive line. You might be right. Will they face a worse quarterback?
Oh, we'll see over the course of the season.
Assuming no one is hurt.
Injuries happen.
True. Outside of injuries.
I didn't think Spencer was horrible. I think Spencer can throw the ball pretty darn well. I think he spins it pretty good.
I mean, they're playing the Jaguars. Trevor Lawrence does not look great.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. I thought he was pretty bad. I don't know. I wasn't very impressed. And then Tyler Shook came in for we went 0 for 2. But yeah, I mean, look. This defensive line is the reason the Seahawks are an interesting team this year, probably more than anything else.
They are a Tariq Woolen misplayed interception in the end zone and Abe Lucas, Sam Darnold sack fumble away from being 3-0. 3-0. And where would they be in your fancy-dancy power rankings? And where would they be in the conversation of the NFL? Because we know this. In the NFL, when your front is that good, it erases anything else. And that front has been that good now for 3 weeks, and on a short week, we'll have to do the same Thursday.
Fancy-dancy, huh?
Your little fancy-dancy power
My little
rankings.
fancy-dancy power rankings.
Yes.
Takeaways.
All right, well, since everything was so good yesterday, I'll go with a concern, Brock. Why not?
3.3, right? Your
33
GPA
carries.
of BB and N. Your GPA of BB.
33 carries, 87 yards. 33
well,
carries. 87 yards.
On the season, it's 3.3.
Yeah. But yesterday, 33 carries, 87 yards? Pretty surprising, right? I was surprised. But
that
they
would
were
be
incredibly
Lyle's
successful.
GPA at Lake Washington, 2.6.
I was going to say 2.8, 2.6, even worse. Crazy to see it. They were incredibly successful offensively and did so without having any real success running the ball at all. So here's a couple of questions I have for you, Brock.
Okay.
Did the number of carries, the fact that they still ran the ball 33 times, end up affecting their ability to pass the ball and some of the success? People knowing that there was going to be a commitment to that running game, and that allowed the passing game to succeed in that way?
I like the word enhance rather than affect. Affect has kind of a negative connotation. Did all of that running enhance their ability to have guys wide open, running free in many different spots? Yes. Yes, it did. Is it also short yardage run after short yardage run, goal line run after goal line run after goal line run, short yardage run the game out at the end of the game where there may be 10 of those carries that were like, come on, we're up 30.
They're just kind of ending the game here.
Yeah,
playing out the string. They're stacking the box. So I'm not going to freak out about it. But if you had told me weeks ago, hey, Seahawks are going to blow a team out, all the while running 33 times for 87 yards and a 2.6 yard per carry average, I would have said no. So the good news here is that the passing game is a lot more explosive than anyone thought it would be. The special teams has been tremendous. The defense has done its job. But it is something worth watching, at least, for a team that really went out and tried to rebuild the way they ran the ball, and it looked so good in preseason. We've yet to really see that take hold here in the regular season.
I would say as well, yes, that has been, and we'll ask Mike about it, if there's anything to read into, not just that game, Salk, for the season. You're averaging 3.3 yards a carry through 3 games. That's not going to be good enough. I think my eye, and I think Ray Roberts would tell you this in much more detail, their pass protection has been phenomenal.
Unbelievable.
I mean, Gray Zabel and Sundell and even Bradford, your 2 tackles, obviously, those grades have been pretty, that baseball card and those numbers when they're healthy, they've been pretty good now for 4 years. But their pass blocking is just, it's ahead of their run blocking, which for all the emphasis in the offseason of moving people, enhance the run game, like, man, their pass protection's been nails the first 3 weeks.
Takeaways.
Speaking of nails, Mora's best takeaways of the year. At least via email. We'll see with the delivery, but I mean, at least via email.
Oh, okay. Ooh,
There's
now
still time to
nervous.
screw it up more.
Something that the broadcasters pointed out caught my attention yesterday. At the time, I think they were saying the Seahawks only had 3 offensive penalties this season. They now have 5. But through 3 games last year, they had 18. The improvement in discipline is impressive, considering the new coaching staff, a lot of new players, quite a few rookies. And I think a lot of it has to do with being more prepared and having answers, which is something that Macdonald preached from the moment he came in here that they did not seem to have last year on offense.
And on top of that, Maura, how many different personnel groups, how many motions, how many shifts, right? This is not a static, hey, we just line
things
up like...
that could create confusion as you're learning.
Yes. And to see them on point, we kind of got that feel as training camp continued, right? Obviously, mini camp was one thing. We wanted quarterback change. First week of training camp, a little bit brutal with snaps and all the operation. But as it got going,
Well, and I complained quite a few times because they would, at the end of practice, they would do this thing where they did everything in slow motion, where like they snapped the ball and then everyone just kind of slowly went to their spot and Darnold. But maybe that was the repetition they needed to make sure they had all this down.
That's good. As I said, nails. Great start.
That's a good delivery, Maura. Nice job on that. 206 says, I hope your dog isn't implicated in some unsolved crime as a result of the DNA test.
Right. Is there a danger in doing
back
that?
in the day, Bruin stole a steak dinner off the table.
All right.
She actually, funny enough, she actually licked Chris's steak last night.
Oh. Did
Yeah.
he eat it anyway?
Yeah.
Are we gonna
Actually,
not eat
I'm
the
gonna get to
steak?
Lyle. I'm gonna get to Lyle with my third takeaway. My number 2 takeaway, Salk. If the run game offensively has been problematic, listen to these numbers with your run defense. Remember that rush defense in 2022?
Yes.
That was dead last in the league. That gave up 4.9 yards a carry. Didn't get much better in 23, 4.6. Part of the reason the change needed to be made. Last year, the end number was 4.5, but we know the second half of last season, that changed dramatically. And right now, you're giving up 3.2 yards a carry, and you have not given up a rushing touchdown. It's one thing to hit and harass and pressure and sack a quarterback. That's all awesome. That there's big dividends that come out of that. But championship DNA, championship ball, look around the league. Look at the last 10 teams that have been in Super Bowls and NFC championship games and all of that. Look at your defense in its heyday, 12, 13, 14, 15. People, you couldn't run the ball. And so you're constantly going uphill. You're constantly off schedule. You're constantly getting hit and harassed. And 3.2 yards per rush, 0 rushing touchdowns allowed. That is winning football.
Yeah, Ernest Jones talked about that after the game. I played the sound earlier, but it was before you came on. Let me play it for you again, Brock, because I think you'll enjoy this. This was Ernest Jones. He's talking specifically here in Cut 12 about shutting down Alvin Kamara, but it really is about the entirety of what this defense can do against the run.
Yeah, it was nice. When you have a good back like that, I think for this defense, we kind of heard the noise early in the week. I believe one of their coaches were excited about the challenge of, having him and them, thinking they were going to run the ball on us. So we took that personal. You got to, man, listen, it's going to be tough to run the ball against us just because of how the mindset and the physicality that we play. And from after that, honestly, it's just this. We're going to make it hard on you to run the ball on us, and if you do, good luck to you.
Isn't that a great cut?
He sounds like some former Seahawk.
Does he?
He kind of does. He does have a little Naylor vibe to him, too. Like, I just don't.
It's just like, look, man,
come on, man.
You're not going to run the ball against us. Come on.
You think you're going to move
I love
Leonard?
the matter of fact.
You're going to move Leonard, and you're going to move Jaron, and you're going to move Murphy, and you're going to move Hall, and you're going to then leave me free? Sorry.
Oh, let's not forget DeMarcus Lawrence, what he does to set an edge, and the fact that Boys had a tremendous start to the year. Like, I like the way he handled it. Like, yeah, come on. You're the New Orleans Saints. Your offensive line stinks. Like, what are we even doing?
Come on, Lyle.
Here?
Like, you got to know who Arsenio Hall is, Lyle.
Yeah.
Come on, Lyle. You got to know who Arsenio is. Come on, Lyle.
Takeaways.
You're up, Salk.
I know. I'm trying to figure out which one I want to give you here. All right, fine. You know how I didn't really believe that the Mariners were bad on the road? I told you that a week or two ago. Like, I just don't believe it. Like, I know the numbers show it, but I don't believe it doesn't make any sense. And I feel like it was more just kind of bad luck, bad circumstances, who they happened to play when. Maybe a little post hoc non ergo propter hoc, Brock.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that.
I didn't really believe the Seahawks were bad at home either. I know they had a bad home record. I know they lost a bunch of games at home, but that just doesn't make any sense. So I just don't believe it. I just thought it was, some circumstance and kind of oddities.
Josh Allen, Jordan
Love, who they played
Sam
when, and they blew
Darnold.
a couple games. Like, that just doesn't make sense that this team would be bad at home because that's, dumb. And yesterday they were not bad at home. They maybe exercised whatever silly demons seemed to be there for them recently. They played great at home. It was loud. The crowd was into it. They were, especially early in the game as they were just pouring it on. And maybe that's just all they need. I don't think they're going to have a problem at home. I know there were some numbers that suggest otherwise, but I just don't believe them.
Yeah, and you heard from a bunch of people after the game, a lot of folks in the social realms anyhow, talking about, man, that was as loud as I've heard that building in years. The Saints don't travel like the Packers travel, like the Bills Mafia travels. That's part of it too, right? Whom you played, who's come into your building. Even Niners fans like to try to come up here and travel. Saints fans, especially with where their program is right now, they're not, who dat ain't coming in the house. And it was loud, false start after false start. And then once you infuse the 12s and you get a lead and you make them feel involved, we know what that place can become because we've felt it for a lot of years, and it was rocking yesterday.
Takeaways.
That was clearly not a very good Saints team, and I don't understand why Kellen Moore was trying to go for it on fourth down so early in the game multiple times, like in not good situations to do that.
But don't worry, he was kicking field goals late in the game once it was like completely worthless to pick up 3 points.
But the Seahawks didn't play down to the level of their opponent. And, blowouts are not something we've really become accustomed to around here, whether it's a bad team or not. They've been pretty rare. So it was nice to see them handle business, especially with some big names out hurt. You could point to, Witherspoon not playing or Love not playing and say, oh, well, you understand why it was a closer game than you would have expected. But Ty Okada, Darian Kendrick, Kobe Bryant, Josh Jobe, all those guys stepped up.
And this is kind of one of those situations where there is a little baseball feel to the schedule. That you got to take care of business, that you hope by doing so, Arizona plays an unbelievably contested game on the road, have a chance to win it, lose on a last-second field goal, expend all that energy, and you got to coast in the second half. As much as you can possibly coast in the NFL, you still have to play your guys. There's only 48 suited up, so it's not like you could put all your backups in everywhere. But as far as being able to play your depth and grow your depth and not have to be exerting nearly the energy your opponent did on a short week where you got to travel, could be a huge bonus as well.
Yeah, that was kind of in my one of my takeaways, but I'll kind of tack it on here is doing all of that without those guys in your secondary is huge.
Yep.
Right? I mean, they played without 2 starters and another guy who's supposed to be a huge contributor for them in the secondary, and they didn't miss a beat.
Kendrick could have 4 picks like that, right? He had Aaron threw him one last week right in his face.
Yep.
He did a great job dropping underneath the out route. Rantler threw it right to his face. He's got 2 back-to-back weeks, which is awesome. He so easily could have 4. He's putting himself in great really position. Good. Yeah, he has been a stellar stand-in for Mr. Witherspoon for sure.
But you got to talk Josh Jobe yesterday, right?
Oh,
that was they went after him. It felt like it was their one part of the game plan that they had set in stone. We're going to attack Josh Jobe. And talk about rising to the occasion. I thought he was phenomenal yesterday. Yep. Yeah, Olave had a bunch of catches. I think it was 10 catches in the game. You know how many total yards he had off those 10 catches?
55 or something.
It was 57. You're very close. Yeah, 57 with a long of 9. I mean, they targeted him 14 times.
Yep.
And every time it felt like Jobe was, all right, maybe you're going to pick up 6-7 yards, fine, whatever, if you need to. But he was right in his hip pocket all day when they needed the breakups. He had those. What a great day for Josh Jobe.
Awesome.
Takeaways.
I don't know whether to ask Lyle a question or go some next level football.
Let's go next level.
You sure?
Yeah.
You don't want me to ask Lyle about what he's thinking of this offense that's throwing it down the field as much as anybody in the NFL? Creating big explosive plays? Okay.
No, we'll get to that.
When you watch tape, Salk, and over these years of doing my previous job and talking to all these coaches, kind of as Ravi said, Karl Ravech joined us last hour, and if you missed that, it was a throwback to baseball tonight, throwback to the 90s and 2001 Mariners with everything they're also accomplishing right now. He was awesome. But as Ravech said, sitting next to people and just learning, and for all my years of sitting with coaches and learning things that they look for when they watch tape, when you try to okay, where is this team really at? Where is the culture of this program really at? You want to know what you would watch with these Seahawks and what opposing coaches watch and that stands out and they notice? My gosh, this, what did Macdonald call it? Shocking effort, shocking enthusiasm. Right, the guy that he learned from, the Harbaugh brothers, with an energy unknown to mankind. The shocking effort of the way this team blocks on the perimeter, the way this team blocks on the perimeter in special teams in the return game, the way their receivers block, their tight ends block, their fullback blocks, the way that everybody gets involved. It's not just Robbie, oots. It's everybody. It's Cooper Kupp blocking. It's Bobo blocking. It's your tight ends blocking. It's your special teams and Russell blocking. It's the way that everybody, Salk, is committed to physically having that prowess and put their face in the fan and be willing to help their buddy out. I promise you that stands out to all of these coaches that put the tape on versus, I'm not really in the play anyway. I'm just on the backside. For the love of the game block. For the love of the game route. Let other people do that. Let me get a little rest right here. There has been a shocking effort in every phase of the game for this team thus far, and I don't think that's going to go anywhere anytime soon.
Takeaways.
Real quick, Brock, since you played quarterback as long as you did and as effectively as you did for so long, how did you feel about running the opposite of your arm side and throwing the ball down the field? I don't have numbers on this. My gut tells me that when quarterbacks run for righty to their left and then throw deeper down the field, they have more success because it forces them to square up and slow down and get the accuracy right. I don't have the numbers. I probably should ask somebody to try to run them for me, but my gut has always told me that's the case.
Yes. Yeah, I think that's fair. Because what happens to your arm side is a lefty for me, and where my accuracy would fail is I'm not running at my target. I can just run kind of like a shortstop or second baseman, and I've got all my momentum and force and energy, and I can just kind of flick the ball out, right? And I don't have to run at my target and follow that ball to get enough on it. When I'm now running opposite of my arm and I'm kind of running counter to my energy, I've got to then turn and square up, and it forces you to throw so much more at your target than falling off. Right. So, and Sam fundamentally
really well yesterday.
He's been so good at that. I asked Brady if there's any next level stats of throwing to his right, to his left, because he's had a bunch of big plays to his left this year. And totally competent, totally comfortable.
I was going to say his two biggest plays, right?
Yes.
The big play he made last week, and then obviously the big long throw to JSN after he escaped the sack. Both of those plays running to his left, and it just seems to work for him to square up the shoulders, throw with the right arm, and deliver a strike deep down the field. Pretty cool.
Pretty awesome. And then the threat that does to a defense in preparation as well, Salk, that you get so used to. And remember Jordan Palmer talking about his escapes and so many of his escapes to the right, to now escape, and you see Clint calling boots to his left in play action, putting him on the move to his left, and super sound with it. Just an A-plus day, man. What an A-plus weekend.
Couldn't be better. Couldn't be better. Those are takeaways for today. Great job, Maura, as always. And, I kind of said it yesterday. Good teams versus bad teams, man. And that's kind of how I saw it. Seahawks are a good team. We'll wait and see how good they're going to be, but the Saints are a bad team. The Mariners are a good team, maybe a very good team, maybe a great team when it's all said and done. All right, maybe the Astros aren't quite bad, but they're not very good. And I think they showed it again over the weekend.
Oof. You know, as Ravi said, you take Bregman out, you take Kyle Tucker out. Now Alvarez is banged up. Pena's got a oblique. You take all those pieces away. I'm sorry. No matter what you are and what you've done in the past, it doesn't matter. They don't have the horses that you've got in your
off
stable.
Of that team as well. I mean, he just kept going after and Fromber and the problems he's having, the clubhouse, it's just not that good. And you went out and you smoked them and did exactly what you're supposed to do. But the Mariners are good. And the Seahawks are good. And they both showed it over the weekend. And I want to give some credit, Brock, to a group of people who have been all but forgotten for the last 2 decades. We'll do it next on Brock and Salk.
Be the first to hear from Seahawks head coach Mike Macdonald the morning after every game on the Mike Macdonald Show.
Good morning, Coach. How are you?
This thing on?
On and ready for you.
The morning after every Seahawks game at 9:30 with Brock and Salk.
Being in front of the 12s is going to be a lot of fun. Trying to bring everybody together so we can push in the same direction.
Get the podcast on the Seattle Sports app and seattlesports.com. It's the Mike Macdonald Show, only on Seattle Sports, the home of the Seahawks.
We don't just promise to get the job done, we back it up. No travel charge, no show-up fee, no overinflated pricing, and no out-of-town owners. Just clean, fast, and professional each and every day. O'Neill Plumbing.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. 1 discount per household.
Jaden Schwartz for Techline Roofing. Summer is the perfect time for a new roof.
Take advantage of our easy financing, summer specials, and the best warranty in the business. Have a great summer. See you next hockey season. Trust Techline.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Progressive's Teen Driver discount could lower the cost of insurance for your teenager and save you some money. And then you can still spend money on them. Because just when you think you have a grasp on spending, new sneakers. And then it's money for a school field trip. And of course, spending money. Oh yeah, and a new phone to replace the one they dropped in the toilet. Oh, don't remind me. So just get Progressive's Teen Driver discount. And then you can continue to spend money on them. Endlessly. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Discount not available in all states and subject to terms and conditions.
I'm attorney Rob Iddens, proud Marine Corps veteran and owner of Warrior Injury Law. We help all types of injury victims, like Ed, who suffered a neck injury in a highway pileup.
Had a bulged disc in my neck. It was pinching my spinal cord, so reached out to Rob. It was amazing. Their whole team were honest and kept me informed, like they were actually interested in helping me, not just a number. I'm very pleased with the outcome. I would definitely choose these guys again any time of the week.
If you've been injured, call us at 253-WARRIOR. Warrior Injury Law. Battle tested.
If you use carpool or toll lanes along SR 167, some things are about to change, and some things aren't. If you ride without a good-to-go account, you'll receive a bill in the mail. That is a change. Having good-to-go means it'll cost less than pay by mail. Not a change. Carpoolers will need a Flex Pass set to HOV mode to ride free. That's a change. A good-to-go pass saves you $2 on every toll. No change. Learn more at goodtogo167.com. Free Flex Passes while supplies last.
Are your investment dollars working as hard as they should be? You've spent years building your future. Don't let outdated advice put it at risk. Hi, I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. We're a veteran-owned firm proud to bring a new standard of financial care to the Seattle area. Our nationally recognized advisors are fiduciaries, ethically bound to put your interests first. That's the highest standard of care in the industry. As a privately held company, we answer to you, our valued clients, not shareholders. For households with $500,000 or more, let us build you a customized plan. From Bellevue to Tacoma, get advice you can count on. It's time to take a fresh look at your financial plan. Call Trajan Wealth, 206-466-3300. That's 206-466-3300. Trajan Wealth. Plan smarter, dream bigger.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance supervisor at a manufacturing facility, he knows keeping the line up and running is a top priority. That's why he chooses Grainger. Because when a drive belt gets damaged, Grainger makes it easy to find the exact specs for the replacement product he needs. And next-day delivery helps ensure he'll have everything in place and running like clockwork. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
Get in the freaking auto!
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports.
Brock Heward and Matt Marcus. Sorry about just Mike.
Heward, not exactly Joe Cap there in the pocket.
Now here are your hosts, Brock Heward and Mike Salk.
We tend in sports radio to talk about the same people over and over again. I'm as guilty of it as anybody, and I'm not sorry for it. It's what sells in radio and in media, and you talk about stars and talk about the people that are most familiar to the audience, and that's a big part of what we do. And because of it, Brock, when things go right or wrong, we tend to focus on the same couple of people, the stars on the team, the coach/manager, the general manager, ownership. Those become the biggest conversations and the most common because everybody knows who those people are, and they are the faces of whatever organization we're discussing. But it dawns on me that yesterday, as we watched the Seahawks complete a game that was as complete as you're going to see, as we watched the Mariners complete a sweep that was as complete as it's going to be, that a large part of what was done yesterday was due to a group of people. Not only do we not talk much about them, but I think for about the last 20 or so years, they have been much maligned, or at the very least lost their importance in the public eye, and that is scouts. I thought both of these, the weekend in general, in Seattle sports, all the success we've talked about, could be attributed in no small part by the scouts, or to the scouts. They did a great job for both teams. You start with the Mariners. And Scott Hunter has not gotten enough credit. We're going to talk to him tomorrow. He's the Mariners director of scouting. And what they've done at the amateur level and hitting on all of these first-round picks, Logan, Kirby, Wu, Cal, second-round pick, Wu's later, but like these draft picks, and then even add in Julio as an international free agent signing, and the resources they had to make the trades that mattered this weekend, like Naylor, etc. Like, you don't get a chance to do all of that if you don't draft incredibly well. And for a long time, under Jack Zarensik, under Bill Bavasi before him, you know what the Mariners didn't do very well? Draft. They walked into a couple of good players. It's not to say they didn't have anybody on those teams. But for the most part, the first-round picks, bupkis. They didn't do much of anything with those first-round picks. And now it's Logan and it's Kirby and Cole Young contributed this year, and we know what else is coming in from first-round picks. And then don't forget the second-round guys like, third-round guys like Cal, and then, like, it's really remarkable. They just haven't really missed in the draft.
Yeah, coaches will tell you all the time, your talent at the collegiate level, your recruiting is the lifeblood of your program. Your talent acquisition, your talent evaluation. It's a lifeblood, but we don't really talk about that. There's too much to talk about as to the performance actually on the field.
Well, and analytics has kind of knocked some of the scouting world out a little bit, at least in terms of the pro side of things. And, you know, everyone's so consumed with the numbers, but the numbers can't tell you whether a high school kid is going to be better than a college kid, or whether Brian Wu was going to capitalize on this, quirk in his delivery. You need scouts for that. And Scott Hunter, and not just him, but his whole team, probably the most under-discussed person in the entire Mariner organization. The team of scouts he's got has changed this group from one that drafted poorly for years to one that has rebuilt a monster roster, primarily through the draft, and we're going to talk to him tomorrow.
So quick personal story. Story. Titus has taken, I think it's a history class, U.S. history or something, and he had to have a parent take the 20-question test for citizenship.
Okay. How'd you do?
You have to get 12 out of 20 to be an American citizen.
Okay.
12. You got to get 12 out of 20 right.
Yeah.
Maybe we should do this for Lyle.
I'd love to see what Lyle does on this.
Maybe this would be a really good test for Lyle to see if he truly could be an American citizen. Your boy got 14 out of 20. So I qualified.
Oh, nice job.
Yeah.
Cool.
I felt pretty good. The history I nailed. Now, where I screwed up or where I missed were the current senators from your state, the current representatives from your state, right? Some of that stuff, I just didn't know their name. And it's kind of like this right here with these scouts. Everybody knows the name Jerry DiPoto and even Justin Hollander and John Stanton and, heck, Kevin Martinez and what he did now as president, but what he did before in marketing. Like, if you were to take the 100 casual Mariner fans or even passionate ones, they would know those names. Do they know the name Scott Hunter? Could you pick him out in a rundown? No, you don't. But his eye and his group's eye in their evaluation has been, you're absolutely right. One of the major reasons why the draft developed part of this team is put them in a position to win this American League West.
Well, if he stands for the scouts, and we'll use his name on behalf of all of the guys who've helped, especially on the amateur side, with the Mariner scouting in the last 5 to 10 years, to now spin this a little forward to the Seahawks as well. Yesterday was the scout's dream, right? DeAndre Bell, Chaz Surratt, Darion Kendrick, Josh Jobe, and Eric Saubert all made big plays in that game. Let me repeat that. DeAndre Bell, Chaz Surratt, Darion Kendrick, Josh Jobe, and Eric Saubert all played a major role in them winning that game. I could probably go on from there. Let's not forget it was a 5th-round pick in Torrey Horton, Ty Okada, who actually played a pretty decent game at safe. Like, Brock, you can go all day with guys who aren't even really supposed to be there, but are a huge part of that. And there's a lot of people that get credit for that. Certainly the coaching staff for putting them in the right position. The whole idea of the ready team, we talked about it a little bit last week. I love the term. I really do. Better than practice squad. The ready squad, yeah, you better be ready. Because DeAndre Bell, you may be called upon to be in this punt return situation, and you got to go block it when that's your opportunity. So I love that whole idea. Chaz Surratt with block of the day just blew up the kicker and gave them a touchdown instead of maybe being at the 35, 40-yard line. Mm-hmm. So all of those undrafted / fringe players, where would you be without Josh Jobe? Like the last 2 years, that guy was nothing. He was an undrafted guy who's floating around the league. Anybody could have had him. Seahawks get him, and now he's a huge part of what they're doing, and by far their best corner yesterday. Mm-hmm. So if Scott Hunter is the most under-discussed person in the Mariner organization, I'll throw some credit to 4 guys in the Seahawks organization. Willie Schneider and Nolan Teasley on the pro side, Trent Kirshner and Matt Berry on the college side. You may have heard those names along the way. They have various titles in scouting and assistant GMs, etc. But we don't talk enough about those guys. We spend a lot of time talking about the coach, talking about the coordinators, talking about the players and the quarterback for obvious reasons. And on the personnel side, we just sort of say, and John Schneider. And John deserves credit, too. This is not to take away credit from Jerry or Justin or John or any of those names that we talk about a lot, but just to spread it out a little bit for some guys that deserve it. Yesterday's win for the Seahawks was all about the scouts. All about those guys on the fringe of the roster just completely outperforming everybody else because they don't treat them like they're on the fringe of the roster. They may be to our eyes, but they treat them like the ready squad. You're ready to go, and they just won you the game yesterday.
You know, I can't help but think once again, golly, if there's one comment that has just stuck between my wide-set eyes, like right in the middle of my eyes as much as any, is Mike Mayock talking about alignment and continuity and how many programs in the league just don't give them a chance. And it's the same thing at the pro baseball level too. And for both of these organizations, Salk, what have they had? What has been different about them than, well, running through a lot of GMs and a lot of presidents, a lot of overhaul, and a lot of, not here, not between these two on Royal Brougham. There has been continuity. There has been stability. You've given these guys all a chance to grow and learn together. And I'm sorry, man, that alignment matters. And it's shown up. And you're absolutely right. Kudos to the acquisition, the talent acquisition through the draft and evaluation that both programs have absolutely nailed. Hey,
and honestly, I meant DeAnthony Bell, not DeAndre. I'm sorry about that. And apologize to the Bell family. DeAnthony Bell, yes.
Lyle, question 1 on the citizenship test last night. Question 1, you ready? What do the stripes on the U.S. flag represent?
We're going to break.
You don't know that? Come on.
Well,
stop it.
There's 50 stars that represent the 50 states.
And what are the 13 stripes represent?
Oh, there's 13, then it's the colonies.
Ah.
Yeah.
All right. With a hint, Lyle comes up big.
He's an American.
Are we going to ask him to name those 13 colonies?
No.
Or who created the flag, Lyle?
No. We don't do it.
No, we're not going to go there.
You got it right. Let's move on.
Right.
We got to go to break.
We'll be right back with things you actually need to know. Even Lyle next on Brock and Salk.
Houston, you have a problem.
Strike 3 called and it's over. They sweep aside Houston.
It's the biggest series win for the Mariners in decades.
3 games in front of the Astros.
With the M's in the driver's seat to win their first division title in 24 years.
Whatever your job is, keep it going.
It's back home to T-Mobile for the final 6 games of the regular season. Tomorrow night on 710 and the Seattle Sports app. Home of your first place Mariners.
Boy, oh boy, what a weekend it was for football and baseball teams. And on this Monday morning, if you find yourself just jubilant and so much joy with your sports teams, but a little frustrated with your finances and really stressed and confused about your insurance, then do what Molly and I and so many of my family and friends have done. Take the First Mark Insurance Challenge. You know, Molly and I heard so many of these First Mark Challenge victories through the years. We decided we finally were going to take that challenge. It's totally free, by the way, right there at firstmarkinsurance.com. It's all there waiting for you. What you'll see and what they'll do is they'll analyze your current coverage, making sure you're not overpaying for the wrong coverage. Then, unlike me and Molly, my friends, my family, they go to the market, dozens of major carriers they've worked with to find you the best fit. That is it. There's no stress. There's no confusion. They're your teammate, and they spent the last 30 years helping thousands of families successfully manage this world of insurance. So please don't wait a morning longer. Take the First Mark Challenge, and as I said, it's totally free. And you might be the next First Mark Challenge victory I get to talk to. Just go to firstmarkinsurance.com. It's all there. Firstmarkinsurance.com. Your teammate that goes to work for you.
David, honey, this is your Seahawks intervention.
I don't have a problem.
David, you painted the entire house action green.
So?
You wanted to name our daughter the 12s. Listen, download the Fuel Forward app. Every 8+ gallon fill up at 76 and Conoco stations gives you a chance to win a VIP game day experience.
I can fuel my car and my Seahawks obsession?
In moderation, David. In moderation. Terms and conditions apply. See official rules at 76.com/Seahawks-rules.
Tired of uneven heating, noisy systems, and high energy bills? The Quilt Ductless Heat Pump from Home Comfort Alliance gives you room-by-room control and serious savings with every system, and every system qualifies for max tax credits. Call the Comfort People at HomeComfortAlliance.com.
The intent for the training is always to, of course, make a better experience for the customer, but from my position, I would say I'm most proud of watching our own people grow.
I think a lot of us really do want the opportunity. I will work my butt off for an opportunity.
I started cleaning cars. Now I have this great opportunity to be a president of one of the greatest auto organizations I feel there is. And it's not that I was smarter than anyone. It's just I was around great people and always wanted to learn. So for me, it's super fulfilling to be able to pass that along to people and see people with the same drive and want to make a great life for themselves, right? So that to me is training. That's gratifying for me.
When leaders focus on growing people, this is where leadership becomes service and customers feel the difference. The LJ Way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
Are you road trip ready? Bucky's Complete Auto Repair will make your car safe and dependable with expert service and old-fashioned care. Brakes, oil change, factory service, and more. No appointment needed, and yes, friendly financing is available. Bucky's.com.
You've heard the saying, you never get a second chance to make a first impression. Since 1926, my family's been helping local businesses make great first, second, and long-term impressions. We know how to make your company look good with quality uniforms, logoed apparel, floor mats, linens, and more. If you're paying for linen service or doing it yourself, let's have the conversation. The information and quote are free, but the savings and service can really add up. Visit suplinen.com. Superior Linen Service. It's what we do.
Want more Seahawks content? Join me, G. Scott, on The Reset. New episodes of the podcast every Monday and Thursday on YouTube or on the Seattle Sports app.
Imagine finding your dream home and moving in right away. No waiting to sell your old place first. Sounds perfect, right? That's exactly what Orchard's Move First, Sell Later program lets you do. Buy your new home now and sell the old one later. Here's how it works. Orchard gives you cash so you can buy and move into your new home first, on your timeline. No waiting, no showings, no double moves. Then the Orchard experts take it from there. They handle repairs on your old home for you so you attract the right buyers. Once they're done, a local Orchard agent lists and sells your home for top dollar. Orchard's Move First program gives you the freedom to buy and move into your new home first and sell your old home later. Buy before you sell and get top dollar for your home with Orchard. Ready to find out how much your home is worth? Visit Orchard.com to get your free home valuation. That's Orchard.com.
Change is always happening. It's part of life. And when it comes to music, change is all around us. Songs are rewritten. Classics are remixed. Bands and artists come and go. Even our taste in music changes. Here at Xfinity, we know there's still good in keeping some things the same. That's why we want to do our part with a 5-year price guarantee on our internet. It means no matter what changes, you get 5 years of the most reliable Wi-Fi with our best equipment included for a price that stays exactly the same. Surprised? Life is full of them. One internet price, 5 years, guaranteed. Learn more at Xfinity.com/deals. Restrictions apply. New residential customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August 2024.
Need to know.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Here's what you need to know. Up first.
All right, Brock, the official playoff scenario is out. The Mariners could clinch a postseason berth tomorrow. Here's how it's got to go. They have to win, and the Yankees have to beat the Guardians, okay? The Yankees would have to beat the Guardians. The reason, the Yankees would have to beat they'd have to beat the White Sox.
Okay,
Sorry about that.
You know what? Can we
The
start
Yankees
this
would have to
over?
beat the White Sox. Trust me, I'm right about this. Because it knocks out the way everything else works with the way the teams play each other. Even though that wouldn't on its surface be enough to clinch, it changes some of the tiebreakers and who has to play each other. And so the Mariners could actually clinch a postseason berth tomorrow with a win and a Yankee win over the White Sox. They can clinch the AL West as early as Wednesday, and it takes a combination of any 3 wins and losses by them and the Astros. So their magic number to win the division is 3.
Let's go.
Got it?
I got it.
The magic number for the first round bye is, for the 2 seed is 4.
Right.
So any combination of 4
And the Tigers,
wins
remember,
and
the Tigers play
losses.
the Guardians for 3. Ooh.
That's right. Yeah, and then the Red Sox for 3. Like they blew their opportunity against the Braves. So everything is really looking great for the Mariners today. They are doing exactly what they're supposed to be doing. Cut 5. Cal Ravech throwing credit and spreading it all around the roster.
Yeah, I mean, I felt like it was, as far as the lineup goes, top to bottom tonight. You know, I think everybody did something really good, whether it was moving a runner, big hit, big spot, drawing a walk, something like that. And it's kind of what it takes as a full team like that. So, and then obviously the pitching, had the one tough inning, but besides that, we were pretty nails. George coming through in a big spot there in the 6th, and executed big time there with runners in scoring position. So
that was specifically about Saturday, but it could have been about any of the games.
Sure. Yeah, I said it earlier. I mean, you do play complementary ball. You marry everything that you're capable of doing. When this team, and we have said it repeatedly, and it was why maybe we were that much more frustrated in a couple difficult road trips. It's like, my gosh, don't play to your floor, because if you play to your ceiling, you might just be the best team in baseball. In fact, the Fangraphs and the World Series projections and all that stuff tell you don't just have a chance, you got a good chance. And this road trip, like the last homestand, these guys played to their ceiling, pitching, hitting, defensively, and because of it, they swept away those Astros in their house, and that just felt good. I mean, any Mariner fan had to just remember Astros guy, that annoying little rant that he would go on.
I like that guy.
Yeah, how you feeling today?
Where is that guy?
How you doing? Astros rants.
I missed that guy. Astros rants was fun.
Here's the second thing you need to know.
Also pretty fun watching the Seahawks just dominate yesterday. We'll talk to Mike Macdonald coming up in 10 minutes, and I would hope he's pretty happy. He gave a game ball to Jay Harbaugh, special teams coach, and for good reason. Special teams was incredible. Cut 7, you get the best of the best here. This is the ultimate when it comes to special teams.
Kroger is punting. Torrey Horton, the rookie, is deep for the Seahawks. He stands just inside his own 20. I saw Kroger during warm-ups, and he had a couple of rainmakers, and here's one. This is a long, high spiral. Horton back at his own 5. Gets 1 block, gets 2 blocks, turns upfield, got some running room across the 30, 35. He may go 40. What a block. Midfield 40, 30, 20, 15, 10, 5. Mr. Horton. Touchdown, Seahawks. Unbelievable blocks. Great run by the rookie. 95 yards. And the Seahawks take a 13-0 lead over the Saints. Holy catfish. What a return. And what a great job of blocking by those special teamers.
You know what he showed you on that play, Salk? And then on the ensuing touchdown catch he had on the little fade route, too, which was a phenomenal throw and catch from a condensed formation for a touchdown. What he showed you is a little bit of what you talked about last segment with the talent evaluators, with those scouts. Daniel Jeremiah said, this guy's a top 50 player. He's a top 50 talent. Top 50 talents do that. They split a defense for 95 yards. They go up over a defender and make a tough contested catch. That's what top 50 talents do. Now, an injury, a risk, projection, injury history, yada, yada, yada. Okay, then let's take him in the 5th when he's on the board, and what a difference the first 3 weeks of the season.
Here's the third thing you need to know.
Apple Cup, or what's left of it over the weekend, goes UW's way. Not a huge surprise. Cougs made it close for 3 quarters, and credit to them for doing that, but ultimately just way too much talent on the other side of the field. They scored 28 unanswered points, 4 touchdowns in the air for Damon Williams. This one cut 13 to Denzel Boston.
And Washington State comes out in man-to-man coverage here. Always got to find Denzel Boston.
Blitz comes. Williams throws. Corner, Boston! Oh, man, what a catch! Automatic are these two. And Washington scores again.
Pretty good 3-headed monster, huh? Damon Williams with 4 touchdowns in the air, 1 on the ground, 2 for Jonah Coleman, throw in Boston. Like, that's a pretty good unit, huh?
Pretty good little triumvirate right there. And for any of you that got that game at 13.5, where it was early in the week, I think it ballooned all the way up to nearly 20-point spread by the end of it, because that initial number was insane. To any of you, kudos to you, because, that was not a real contest as it just unfolded, and you knew it. Those 3, the overall speed, the overall talent versus so much newness on the Palouse. But at least I think they found their quarterback. Little Zevy, man, Eckhouse. We saw that last year in the bowl game. That guy can run around. He can be a problem to a defense. He's got some grit and toughness to him, and hopefully the Cougs found their quarterback.
Did they do a little Hava Nagila during the celebration I saw there?
Come again?
Kraken win their first preseason game
again?
last night. 5-3 over Vancouver. Yanni Newman, who I like, with a couple of goals last night. Edward Chalet, John Hayden, Jaden Schwartz. Hey, you want to hear from Lane Lambert? We've never heard from him before. You want to hear first sound after a game from Lane Lambert? Here he is, the new Kraken head coach.
Thought we did a lot of good things in a lot of different areas. What I really liked a lot was we were on pucks tonight. We were hounding pucks, creating turnovers, and then turning it into offense.
There you go, bro. New hockey coach. How's he sound?
Pucks.
Yep.
Say that slowly.
You like that?
I do like that.
Hounding pucks. Hounding pucks.
I played you sound of the last 2 Kraken coaches. Can you tell a difference?
No.
Well, yeah, because the first one would be asleep.
Hackstall?
Hackstall?
I mean, none of them ever sound like they have any energy.
That's why I wanted to play another one. They're all very tight-lipped. We all have to talk about what happened in the game.
You know what? If we didn't have a first-place baseball team and a top 10 football team, maybe we would do that tomorrow. Maybe we would play. Do you know the difference?
We're not going to do that. We got too many important things to do tomorrow. Let's, all right, take a quick break. That's everything you need to know. I think we're going to have Scott Hunter tomorrow. It may end up being Wednesday when it's all said and done, but he's going to join us this week. Mariners head of scouting. Tomorrow we'll have, of course, Jeff Passan at 8:30 and Daniel Jeremiah at 9:30, so a lot going on there. Wednesday with Joel Klatt. What?
You know who I'm efforting this week, Salky?
Who are you efforting?
Our guy, Al Michaels. He's on the call.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Makes sense.
I got a good little connection now, so we'll see.
You have a
if we
new
can make
connection?
that
The first time we
got a new
one.
one.
So good.
First time I had to go through NBC Tower, whatever.
It was so good.
It was so good.
If you get Al again, I will be so freaking happy. I love Al Michaels. Coming up next, Mike Macdonald, the coach, hopefully smiling after a couple of big wins and a dominant one yesterday. It's next on Brock and Salk.
Be the first to hear from Seahawks head coach Mike Macdonald the morning after every game on the Mike Macdonald Show.
Good morning, Coach. How are you?
This thing on?
On and ready for you.
The morning after every Seahawks game at 9:30 with Brock and Salk.
Being in front of the 12s is going to be a lot of fun. Trying to bring everybody together so we can push in the same direction.
Get the podcast on the Seattle Sports app and seattlesports.com. It's the Mike Macdonald Show, only on Seattle Sports, the home of the Seahawks.
Your time is money. Stop wasting it in I-5 gridlock. Seaport Airlines offers high-frequency commuter shuttle service from Seattle's Boeing Field to Portland. Get there faster without the hassles. Seaport Airlines. It's about time.
Hey, Mike Salk here. As the weather's going to start to get a little cooler, I know we're going to be spending more time inside. You got playoffs on the horizon in baseball. Of course, we're watching football as well. And the more time you spend inside, the less active you are and the closer you are to the chips and the snacks and the desserts, all the stuff that's in the freezer, in the fridge, in the pantry, in the cupboards. Yeah, that stuff is not what you want to see because it ends up making the number on the scale increase. Well, instead, let's make it go the other way. We can do it with Eastside Weight Loss Clinic. I didn't entirely believe it until I tried it, but it really does work. I lost 24 pounds in a month, 35 pounds after just 8 weeks, and it wasn't that hard. No injections, no surgery, no prepackaged meals, no nothing. Exercise, now you don't even need to do that. It is about eating healthy, delicious food that you buy at the grocery store. And if you don't believe me, call them. Just do the 15-minute phone conversation. You can set it up at eastsideweightlossclinic.com. That's eastsideweightlossclinic.com. Dr. Ryan Coogan, D.C. Results may vary.
One of the greatest bands in rock history, The Who, present The Song Is Over, the North American Farewell Tour. See Pete Townsend and Roger Daltrey, The Who, live in Seattle, performing this Thursday at Climate Pledge Arena. Get tickets now at Ticketmaster.com. The Who, for the very last time. The song is over. For more, visit thewho.com.
Your roof, you need a name you can trust. Techline Roofing has proudly served the Seattle area for years, delivering exceptional results and lasting security. Choose Techline Roofing. Your trust is our foundation. Trust Techline.
Dave Wyman here, and since I stopped playing football, we've been fortunate to live in the same house for over 20 years. That type of longevity is a good thing, except 20 years in the same house means a lot of things start to break. Most recently, it's our windows. Virtually every seal has broken, and that's why I reached out to Harley Exteriors. They're local, they're huge fans of our teams, and big listeners to the station. Better yet, they have the best product. Olympic Series windows offered exclusively through Harley Exteriors are manufactured in Washington, designed for Pacific Northwest homes and climate. That means cooler in the summer and warmer in the winter. To celebrate the start of football season, the guys at Harley Exteriors are offering no interest and no payments for an entire year. Also, buy one window and get the second one 40% off. And take another $200 off your entire project. Call 833-HARLEY. That's 833-HARLEY. Or go to harleyexteriors.com.
Toyota of Kirkland's Service Department has you covered as the summer winds down and the fall approaches. At Toyota of Kirkland, be confident in your brakes with the complimentary brake inspection. Get winter ready with a free battery health check, wiper blade installation, and multi-point inspection. Thinking of trading in? Get a complimentary vehicle appraisal. Stay ahead with the maintenance service plan at $374 plus tax. And yes, they match coupons from other local Toyota dealers. Visit toyotaofkirkland.com to schedule your service today. Drive safe, drive smart with Toyota of Kirkland.
O'Brien. The push to the playoffs lives.
The catch made by Julio. He throws to second base. The double play.
On the home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports.
Do Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keep coming back? Tremfya, guselkumab, may help, with rapid remission achieved at 12 weeks and lasting clinical remission at 1 year. Some even saw visible improvement of their intestinal lining at 12 weeks and 1 year. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active Crohn's disease and adults with moderately to severely active ulcerative colitis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Healing is possible with Tremfya. Approximately 3 out of 10 patients were in endoscopic remission at 1 year, based on areas visualized on colonoscopy, which may not represent the deeper bowel layer or entire GI tract. Individual results may vary. Ask your doctor about Tremfya today. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more or visit tremfyaradio.com.
It is that time of year. I cannot wait for the weather to get warm like it is now on consecutive days. That means I can break the motorcycle out, ride to work, ride all over the place, and I love it more than just about anything. But I also know that it's not a matter of if, but when you get in an accident, what are you going to do? Well, I'll tell you, when you're injured in a motorcycle crash, don't settle for firms that say they're motorcycle lawyers. Trust the ones who live it. Law Tigers has been a part of the writing community for nearly 25 years nationwide. They're here 24/7 24/7, 365 days a year because riders deserve real support when they need it. Law Tigers is the resource riders can turn to when they are in need. Law Tigers is out at all the events and supporting all clubs and shops. The Law Tigers are always by your side. Your case evaluation is always free. There are no fees until your case settles. The Law Tigers, you never ride alone. Law Tigers, Washington's motorcycle lawyers. Jimmy Cook, 539 Broadway, Unit 104, Tacoma, Washington, 98402.
This is the Mike Macdonald Show, presented by your local 76 and Conoco stations, exclusively on the home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports.
Well, first of two Mike Macdonald shows this week, as we'll do it again on Friday, coming off the Thursday night short week. But Coach, with us right now. Good morning. Congratulations, 2 in a row.
Thanks. Yeah, it was good to see you guys.
Is that
I'm fired up two times this week. That's news to me.
Yeah, you can see the excitement. It's just emanating out of him. Wow, look at how pumped he is. Is that yesterday about as complete a team win as you can get?
I'd say it's probably the most complete win we've had since in the last year or so. Yeah, I mean, look, it was a great win. It was awesome. It's also week 3, and we've gotten to this point by sticking to, abiding by our process and staying true to that. When you watch the tape, I'm not saying this because you're doing the whole head coach doing the opposite thing, but there's plenty of stuff that we get it cleaned up and we got to do it in a hurry in all 3 phases. So it's great. It's great to win like that and start the game like that. But it's also great. 1, hey, there's a sense of urgency because we got to get going because we're in the middle of game planning for Arizona. And 2, I think the guys will see that there's a lot of room for growth too.
What have you been told by somebody, Mike, that you occasionally couch the positive with what needs to improve?
Yeah, I've never heard that before.
Never? No.
Wow. First time for everything, Brock. Amazing what's going on here.
You know what stuck with Salk and I last week? Salky really liked it, and it resonated with me as well. Your term of shocking effort. You want to be known as a team and as a group that has that shocking effort. Do you showcase that? I know this is a short week, so maybe it's a little funky and you got to get right to business because of the game on Thursday. But is that something that you would put together clips of and highlight and show? And if so,
yeah.
Where was that yesterday?
I think a lot of the tactics and the small details in front of the team, that's not really my job. I like showing how we play through our style and trying to reinforce our style of ball. And so a lot of times it is through that, and it doesn't have to be just shocking effort. There's a lot of things that show up. It's how we run an in cut. It's how we identify a blitz, how we get lined up fast, how we take the field, how we break the huddle, how we shift in motion. All those things are really important, and we think those are edges for us. So we want the team to see it and see how it all works together, how it sets things up, and how it puts pressure on other teams. So that's really important.
Could you give us one from yesterday? One example of that.
Yeah, I'd say the keeper that we threw to Sabi, and then we ended up shoving him down to the 1 yard line. That's been a point of emphasis, and so I can't. That one will be shown today.
That's pretty cool. I like him. He just is built like a prototypical tight end.
I like him too.
For whatever reason, just seeing him out there is that's a big moose of a tight end, and it's a good lead into kind of the full, not just. You say 12 is one, but it could be 53 is one. It could be 70 is one in some ways.
Right.
Just looking at the complete whole team. How do you as a coach balance and find ways to connect with some of the guys that people outside the organization might consider the edges of the roster? I know you feel they have great importance. How do you find a way to connect with them and know who they are just as much as you do the quarterback and some of the biggest, most prominent stars on the team?
Well, I don't think I hope people realize it's not like we rank our players and treat them accordingly.
Understandable.
They're Seahawks. We love them. We're coaching everybody. They're our guys. So we all love them up. It's like they're kids. You guys do different things and stuff, but you love them the same. I only have 1 kid, so I really don't know how that feels.
Yeah, you'll love them the same. Mostly. Depends on the day.
That's my parents told me, but Maggie's my dad's clear favorite. I'm probably my mom's favorite. So there's levels.
Nice.
But those contributions from that ready squad, right? You don't call them the practice squad. They're the ready squad, and their contribution showed up in big ways yesterday. Talk to me about, in particular, the back end of your secondary. Because on paper, it would have been very easy for some to go, oh, my gosh, no Love again, or no Love, no Emmanwori, no Spoon again. How are you going to put this thing together? You call up Bell. Okada slides into the mix there. Obviously, again, a prominent role for Darian. How did that back end come together, and how do you do that in kind of short order?
I mean, yeah, we said it yesterday after the game, after watching the tape. The guys did a lot of things. Their execution was, we were lacking some of that detail at the beginning of the year. The guys are on it right now. I think we can still clean up our communication, starting with me. Getting it to the rest of the team, and New Orleans puts a lot of stress on you. They go fast in some certain situations, and our place is absolutely rocking. It's like, so it's a feat to kind of get that down the waterfall, from me all the way to all three levels of the defense. And I thought we handled it as well as you can, and something that we're going to still work on. But I thought Ty tackled well. Darian obviously had plays on the ball that we want to finish, but he's playing at a high level. D'Anthony came in and he played fast and made a lot of great plays in the box. So, yeah, I mean, those guys played a great game. And look, I mean, it's not like you say, okay, let's pull out the reserve, the next wave of guys are coming in. Let's pull out that playbook. This is what you need to do A through D throughout the week. It's like, no, I mean, these guys have been in the meetings. They've been taking reps. Now they're actually taking the majority of the ones reps throughout the week, and we go through our process. And it's gonna move and curve and take detours, but it does that with no matter who's playing. And I think the guys are realizing that let's stay true to it, let's trust it, attack the heck out of it, and that lets us be as confident as we can, going into Saturday and Sunday.
Since we're talking secondary, you couldn't not notice Josh Jobe if you're watching that game at home yesterday. It felt like they threw at him a lot, and he was up to the occasion a lot. Could you talk a little bit just about his growth from when you guys first got him last year to where he is now?
I think it's just been a steady, you talk about chasing edges, stacking wings, all those things. I mean, those incremental gains. I see a guy that wants to be great and practices that way, studies that way, prepares that way. And then on game day, this guy competes. And that's all you can ask for a corner is just freaking get after it every play. Throw your fastball on whoever you're playing and let the chips fall where they may. And that's what Josh is doing. And I think we're seeing some great results. And the great thing about him is I know he's going to stick to it. It's not like this guy's saying he's made it by any stretch, but he's just having a great start, and he's going to keep getting better. It was a great play down the goal line. I mean, just that third down on that end cut to Olave was just was a phenomenal play.
Textbook. You want to hear the longest punt return in Seattle Seahawks history from the great Dave Rabel, and you will love the linebacker. Wyman about halfway through this. The linebacker, you'll hear his little grunt as well. Here was Mr. Horton through Steve Rabel yesterday with the longest punt return touchdown in Seahawk history.
Kroger is punting. Torrey Horton, the rookie, is deep for the Seahawks. He stands just inside his own 20. I saw Kroger during warm-ups, and he had a couple of rainmakers, and here's one. This is a long, high spiral. Horton back at his own 5. Gets one block, gets 2 blocks, turns upfield, got some running room across the 30, 35. He may go 40. What a block. Midfield 40, 30, 20, 15, 10, 5. Mr. Horton. Touchdown, Seahawks. Unbelievable blocks. Great run by the rookie. 95 yards. And the Seahawks take a 13-0 lead over the Saints. Holy catfish. What a return. And what a great job of blocking by those special teamers.
How does that come together? How does that happen?
Well, what I'm going to tell the team today, if I decide we have enough time, because we're at a shortage of time, but what I want the guys to realize is we talk about every play matters, and you take it one play at a time. We're 2 plays out of that. We stop them on a second down run to minimum yardage. We get them to 3rd and short. They're in no huddle, going no huddle, short yardage. We get lined up. We Leo, we set a great edge. Leo makes a great play. We stop them to 4th and inches. They go to the tush push. Everyone's lined up, ready to go. It looked like we probably might have stopped them in that situation, but they had the false start. They're trying to draw us off sides. We maintained it, so we ended up creating a 4th and 6, which allows us to have a more aggressive punt return. So all these things are connected, and now we can set up a punt return. And so it just shows you, all those hidden yardage plays really matter when in the NFL, and they add up over time. And then on the punt return, I mean, it's a case of Torrey making a smart decision, guys blocking, to the echo of the whistle, making smart decisions. There's about 3 guys in that took that had like a possible blindside block situation that did flybys and created lanes for Torrey, and Torrey was decisive. He stuck his foot in the ground and got north, and that's something that has been a point of emphasis with him, and to his credit, he did it and ripped it. And obviously, Chaz had a phenomenal block at the very end. I think that was on the punter to make the final block to spring him free. So a lot of great stuff that went into the whole play.
What make Jay Harbaugh, people may not be as familiar with the name, but your special teams coordinator for the last 2 years, what makes him a good coach?
This guy is relentless with finding the little edges and ways to coach it better than they've been. There's no such thing as status quo with Jay. It's constantly finding a new and better way to teach something, to design something, to word something that there's talk about shocking. There's so much elegant simplicity in how he coaches position. This guy isn't just a great special teams coach. He's a great football coach. I mean, at Michigan, you name a great player that came out of Michigan in the last 10 years, Jay probably recruited him. He was the running back coach that got all those guys. He was a tight ends coach when I was there. Then he moved to safeties. I mean, he's coached all 3 levels on all 3 phases of football, and he's one heck of a special teams coordinator too. So that's what makes him great.
Got a game ball yesterday too, I think.
He got a game ball.
That's pretty stinking cool. Hey, a couple numbers here for you, Mike. One on the really positive side, one maybe on the improvement side. We'll start with the really positive. 3.2 yards per carry allowed in that rush defense. 0 rushing touchdowns allowed now through 3 games. So when you look at what you were doing, stopping the run, what have been some of the critical elements to that success?
Guys are playing physically, and we're playing off one another. And I think that's just an attitude that they have that that's really cool right now. As of this time last year, we were bleeding, and I think we've done a great job this offseason coaching players, personnel acquisitions, and the guys are doing it at a high level, and they're determined to keep it going.
And then on the flip side, and I know some of this gets skewed because of a lot of short yardage runs and end of game runs yesterday and everything else. But on the flip side, through 3 games, 3.3 rushing yards a carry. Mm-hmm. Pass blocking incredibly well, just 3 sacks allowed in 3 games, but 3.3 yards per carry. Anything stand out in particular over the 3 games with that number?
Yeah, it's not good enough. It's not even close to being good enough. It's not what we saw throughout camp. It's not what we saw in the preseason. Teams are got to give the other teams credit too. They're designing some good things and playing hard and tackling well, but we got to be better. We need to be better. We need to target it right. We need to hit our targets. We got to run off the ball better. Got to hit our combinations better. We got to run it better. So it's really all 11 that we just step up our game. So nothing that's not fixable, which is great. Again, like I said, we're coming out of the win, and it's great that we won in that fashion. But when you watch it, no one on our football team is going to be satisfied on really in all 3 phases of the things that we fell short on, and we understand where we need to improve. And the run game's right there in the front with our offense.
Passing game obviously was pretty explosive yesterday. Last week, Clint used the phrase accuracy and aggressiveness in talking about the things that Darnold is doing really well so far.
Yep.
Obviously, you seem to concur, but can you go into maybe a little bit more detail of what that means and why that's so important for this offense?
Well, Andrew Janocko uses a phrase called "listen to your feet," and I think that paints a pretty good picture of what we're trying to achieve. So Sam's being really decisive with working through his progressions, not being too greedy, but understanding when there's an opportunity down the field, he's ripping it, and he's throwing great balls and giving our guys a chance to go make plays too. So our guys are playing at a high level. There's a couple great contested catches that we made over the last few games, and that doesn't come to life unless we protect well as well. And I think our offensive line, our tight ends, and our backs right now are blocking well enough to make that thing come to life, and it's something we're still chasing, but our pass protection's been very good.
Kind of curious from a defensive perspective, Coach, because I know it throwing to receivers and know what elite receivers look like from my perspective of throwing it to them. JSN and what he's done these first 3 weeks, and in particular the play that jumped out to me yesterday was the deep ball in the second half. It almost looked like, as fast as things are going, it almost looked like he slowed to a walk, to slow down just enough to keep that defender, between him and the ball, and then be able to go secure, as you said, a contested catch right there. From a defensive coach's lens and perspective, talk to me about that play maybe, and also what he's done the first 3 weeks here.
Well, downfield, when they're able to have those subtleties to adjust to those deep balls, especially the ones that are not necessarily underthrown, but just like the shorter one, like the ones where you have to kind of come back to the ball. It's so hard to defend on defense because, you're one. If you don't play it right or you don't play through the ball, the man right, you don't find the ball, it's DPI, and you're running full speed too. So I mean that's a tough situation to be put in, and the great ones find a way, like to your point, Brock, to kind of position themselves so they can go attack the ball, and they're the ones coming down with it. And Jax has done that now. I think 2 games in a row. I'm not sure about the first game if we had a deep one. Yeah, he did. He had the 2-minute one. So 3 games in a row now he's been able to do it. And look, I mean, I'm the JSN Pied Piper here, like we've been saying it since we walked in the building, and he keeps. I think it's a testament to his attitude. I mean, this guy, since our first conversation, and how he's operated since, to back it up, he's determined to be an elite receiver in this league, and he's well on his way.
Is Julian Love, he generally is a big part of the communication, I would assume, in the secondary. So when you are without him for a game like yesterday, who does a lot of that responsibility fall on?
Next guy in. I mean,
Ty. Is it Ty who steps into that?
Yeah,
is it Kobe who takes a role in that?
Yeah, it's everybody. It's me talking to EJ. It's EJ getting it to everybody else, and then they make it come to life. And Ty Cotta's a great communicator. He's on it. He's on his details. He's sharp. He's great. Kobe is the same way. And then when you have those second-level guys that are on their stuff too, it makes the whole thing go.
Have you had a situation in your time as a coordinator where you're kind of playing 2 linebackers, as it feels like you're doing a little bit with Tyrese and Drake in season like this?
We did in 2022. We platooned a little bit. Shout out to Josh Bynes. He was our Mike at the time. And then when I was a linebacker coach, 2018, we had a great defense, and C.J. Moses was the Mike backer, and Patrick Owasso, Peanut, was platooning with Kenny Young. So it's not anything that we're not used to.
Mm-hmm. And how is that playing out? How do you see? Is that just iron sharpening iron a little bit between those two?
Yeah, I think so. I think we're at the point in the season too. Like, hey, we're going to be about competition, and if guys are earning playing time and are going to help us play great defense, they're going to play. I mean, you've seen it with Josh, you've seen it with Drake, you're seeing it with Darian Kendrick. You're seeing it up front. Derek Hall's playing at a high level right now. So if we're going to be about competition, we got to back it up with our actions. And so that's just that's a position too where we got 2 guys that are fighting for playing time.
Any of the guys that weren't able to go in the game, were any of them close to being able to go, maybe with a possibility this week?
I'm gonna make an absolute designation right now. Hold me to it. I don't know. I mean, we'll see. We're working through the test this morning. Take it day by day. Fortunately, at some point, we're probably going to have to test it out before the game. We're not going to be really fast-paced until Thursday again. So kind of we'll see.
Last couple weeks.
Still tricky without practicing, throughout the week.
Yeah.
Full speed.
Is it helpful to have a game that was somewhat in hand early, leading into a short week on a Thursday night like that? Like, is that in your mind in the third and fourth quarter?
Yeah,
of the game?
For this one it was for sure, and you'd say yes. I mean, on offense, it probably worked a little bit better because we didn't play as many plays. But I mean, I think we had like 50-something plays in the first half on defense. Is that right? It was a lot, and so, we're trying to minimize those in the second half.
Stupid special teams kept scoring too quickly. I mean, like,
seriously.
put your defense in a bad
spot.
spot.
We had a couple extended drives that we need to be able to put those out.
Talk to Jay about this. Like, hey, could you give us a little longer field on offense? Take some time.
Yeah, I think it was both Mondays last couple weeks. We came out of the game pretty clean, and then Monday was like, oof, we got some guys a little bit more banged up. I know it's early, and maybe you haven't even seen any of them yet, but did you get the sense coming out of that game, leaving the building yesterday, that hopefully there's nothing that flares up new this morning?
Yeah, there's a couple things going on that we're working through after the game, which seems like it's about par for the course now. So
okay.
Yeah,
it's kind of the way it goes. What are a couple of the keys in these short weeks? You had obviously one last year, and in a short week, you've got a process and a plan to it. From your perspective, the biggest keys to make sure, as you said, you're full speed and running and hitting come Thursday night.
Yeah, it's we need to take care of our bodies and our minds. So all the recovery stuff, make sure we get adequate sleep, the travel plan, and then coaches, we got to have a tight, really effective plan that the guys can go execute, and have some change-ups in there. But whoever gets their body's most ready to play, in my opinion, and who executes the best on these Thursday night games, have a really good chance of winning.
Where's the team confidence at right now? If you're in that locker room, how confident does this group feel right now?
I think we're confident in that. Like, when we take the field, we expect to play great football and to win the games that we're in. So they've earned that right to feel that way. I'm sure Arizona feels the same way. But we're in a good spot. And we're also hungry. We're also determined to get better. And it's critical at this point of the year. I mean, we're not even a quarter way through the season. And so I'm glad we have that mentality rather than thinking that we're sweet and we've made it.
Is it true? Last thing for me, Mike, I've kind of heard, through the grapevine that maybe you and Gray Zabel and the rest of the guys are taking credit for the Mariners' success. That it was your batting practice at T-Mobile Field. That if you look at the record, in the offense in particular, from the time that Mike Macdonald was in the batter's box at T-Mobile, and the correlation between the Mariners' success on their way to winning a pennant for the first time in 2001, y'all taking a little bit of credit for that?
Maybe we do. Do you know the records, Brock, since that day?
I have to go figure that out.
Full disclosure, this is the first time I've thought of it since you said it. So. But it'd be interesting. Maybe it's the thing,
Okay. We're happy to give you guys
make each other better.
Well, we appreciate it. We will get you twice this week, so we'll let you go. We'll see you on Friday after the night game in Arizona. Try not to smile between now and then because you're so excited about a second opportunity to chat with us in 1 week. But we'll look forward to it, and so much fun to do this after a great game like yesterday.
Thanks, guys.
All right, there you go.
It is good to see you, believe me.
There you go. There's Mike Macdonald. He's brimming with happiness, Brock, and we will be again on Friday. We'll see you guys tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. Until then,
Well, you're brimming, I'm brimming. Everybody in Seattle brimming over that weekend. It's as good as it gets. And this Monday, hey, it's in the barn, buddy. It's in the barn.
Get to the chopper!
On this day after a Seahawks win,
the clouds have parted.
Let us give thanks to the Saints.
Holy catfish!
Saint JSN.
JSN makes a catch, makes a man miss.
Saint Torrey.
He may go 40, 30, 20.
Man, I was out there running for a mile. Make it 2 straight wins for the Seahawks.
It was a big win for us.
Now they go for 3 straight against the Cardinals on Thursday Night Football.
On the home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports.
David, honey, this is your Seahawks intervention.
I don't have a problem.
David, you painted the entire house action green.
So?
You wanted to name our daughter the 12s. Listen, download the Fuel Forward app. Every 8+ gallon fill up at 76 and Conoco stations gives you a chance to win a VIP game day experience.
I can fuel my car and my Seahawks obsession?
In moderation, David. In moderation. Terms and conditions apply. See official rules at 76.com/Seahawks-rules.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
What makes you so different than the rest of us?
We ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Tell me more.
Our investment counselors focus on service over sales, prioritizing clients' needs.
How do you make money?
We don't sell any commission-based products. We have a simple management fee based on the value of our client's portfolio. So we do better when our clients do better.
What about client portfolios?
We get to know each client, their finances, family, health, lifestyle, and more, and then we tailor a portfolio based on their specific goals and needs.
Your clients really come first then, huh?
Yes, we make them a top priority. Our goal is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement.
Wow, maybe we are different.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
You gave years, maybe decades to your job. You showed up, worked hard, and planned for retirement. But now, the company's changed. Or maybe you've taken a buyout or been forced into early retirement. So, what happens next? I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. And if you've built up a 401k or thrift savings plan, now is the time to ask, is that money really working for you? Many workplace retirement plans offer limited options and even less guidance. At Trajan Wealth, we help people just like you roll over their accounts into IRAs with more flexibility and personalized investment strategies built around your goals. For households with $500,000 or more, let us build you a personalized plan. We operate on veteran values, service, trust, and doing what's right. Your next chapter starts now. Call Trajan Wealth, 206-466-3300. That's 206-466-3300.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
Change is always happening. It's part of life. And when it comes to music, change is all around us. Songs are rewritten. Classics are remixed. Bands and artists come and go. Even our taste in music changes. Here at Xfinity, we know there's still good in keeping some things the same. That's why we want to do our part with a 5-year price guarantee on our internet. It means no matter what changes, you get 5 years of the most reliable Wi-Fi with our best equipment included for a price that stays exactly the same. Surprised? Life is full of them. One internet price, 5 years, guaranteed. Learn more at xfinity.com/deals. Restrictions apply. New residential customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August 2024.
At Cressy Door, we have the perfect garage door for you. Come visit our brand new garage door and fireplace showroom and let our experts help you find the perfect garage door. Cressy Door.
At West Hills Autoplex, we thoroughly inspect and prepare every used car to be like new. Because to you, it is new. We also pay you top dollar for your vehicle. So there's no better place to give your old car a new story. Auto Center Way exit, Highway 3 Bremerton.
Imagine finding your dream home and moving in right away. No waiting to sell your old place first. Sounds perfect, right? That's exactly what Orchard's Move First, Sell Later program lets you do. Buy your new home now and sell the old one later. Here's how it works. Orchard gives you cash so you can buy and move into your new home first on your timeline. No waiting, no showings, no double moves. Then the Orchard experts take it from there. They handle repairs on your old home for you so you attract the right buyers. Once they're done, a local Orchard agent lists and sells your home for top dollar. Orchard's Move First program gives you the freedom to buy and move into your new home first and sell your old home later. Buy before you sell and get top dollar for your home with Orchard. Ready to find out how much your home is worth? Visit Orchard.com to get your free home valuation. That's Orchard.com.
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
The Mariners swept the Astros over the weekend to take a 3-game lead in the AL West. They never trailed Houston during a series that also saw Cal Raleigh's 58th home run and a catch of the year from Victor Robles. The magic number to win the West is